Good morning. Good morning, everybody. How is everybody this morning? I saw a few people in the chat this morning. Well, this morning, a few minutes ago. You guys were chatting away, sharing where you're from and sharing weather. I love it when you guys share where you're from because that's how I think sometimes you guys get to know each other a little bit better. So welcome. Hold on. Hang on. Something's flashing in front of me that I need to fix. Hi, Julie. Okay, let's see. All right, there we go. Okay, I just saw somebody said last Saturday was epic. Holy cow. Oh my gosh, I had so much fun, you guys. Clearly I had fun because we went 2 hours longer than I had planned. And some of you guys were such troopers. Some of you were up until the wee hours of the morning, I think, and my memory was absolutely trashed that day after it was all said and done. But I think maybe was it Ruth Sims, who's from the UK, that finally called it a night at 2:30 in the morning due to the time difference. So, oh my gosh, that was so fun. Almost, I won't say 100%, but almost makes me want to do every Saturday, do an all day. How fun would that be? So I think we might have to figure out how to work in some all days a little bit more frequently, not every week, but maybe once every other month or once every 3 or 4 months or something, because I had a lot of fun. Good morning, Jesse and Kylie. Yes, Ruth was a trooper. Susan, Amy P, Lisa. Good morning, Nick. Good morning, Nick from the basement, who is frantically, oh Lordy, you guys, it's always this way. Nick's my husband, who is downstairs packing orders. I know. Well, I never know because I kind of have almost like two totally separate customer bases, if that makes sense. Two types of customers. The scrapbookers and then the listers, and then every once in a while, some of you come together and do both. But there is a big scrapbooking kit that has been shipping and is continuing to ship this week and probably maybe into Monday or Tuesday next week. And that was the Grateful Hearts kit. So, that's what Nick is doing this morning. Bless his heart. I always have to say bless his heart in a good way, not in the South way, but in the good way. So good morning, everybody. If we haven't met before, welcome. And if you haven't joined us before, welcome. I always love to know if you are a first timer, please just pipe up in the chat and say, hey, I'm here for the first time. If you're not a first timer and you've been here for quite a while, but you've always been a lurker, and what I mean by a lurker is if you have kind of just been watching and never really piped in the chat, just pop in the chat and say, hi, long time watcher, first time chatter. I don't know. Always reminds me of talk radio from a long time ago when people would call in and say, long time listener, first time caller. So would love to see that. Yes, Karen, happy packing day for Nick. First time chatter. Hi, Heather. Oh, Heather, I'm so glad you did that. First time live, but I've been watching all the back events. Lorna, so welcome. Cloudy spring in Southern California. I hope you guys get rain, Denise. It seems like you guys always need rain. Foggy SoCal. So here, I'm in Utah, and it is raining today, which that's one of my favorite things about spring is the rain. So we will actually kind of dig into that for our first list when we talk about the things that we are looking forward to this spring. Okay, so welcome. If we haven't met before, my name is Lael Kankar, and I have been crafting pretty much all my life, for all 28 years of my life. Yeah. But I've been scrapbooking, paper crafting for about 25 years. So I just kind of messed that whole thing up. That would mean I was kind of crafting from birth, which for some of us, it feels like it, doesn't it? Anyhow, I have worked for a couple of different manufacturers over the years. Way back in the day, a company called Scenic Route Paper. I worked for Basic Gray, and then most recently worked for Simple Stories for 6 years. And 2 years ago, oh my gosh, you guys, 2 years ago, the anniversary for that will be April 1st, not April Fool's. Well, April Fool's, but it's not an April Fool's. Will be 2 years ago that I actually left Simple Stories and completely went out on my own. And it has been a wild ride, but it's been awesome. So worked for different manufacturers, started out kind of scrapbooking, paper crafting as a hobby. And then about 6 years ago, five or 6 years ago, really started getting into planners and planning and traveler's notebooks. And that's what we've been doing here on my YouTube channel for the last year. In fact, last week, if you missed it, was our 52nd week, so our year anniversary, and we had a ball. Anyhow, normally, non-COVID times, I'm doing a ton of traveling and teaching different events and scrapbook stores and all kinds of things. And obviously with COVID, all of that changed. So figured out how to pivot a little bit. I've been doing this ever since. So I also have a website. It is lailbymail.com. As we work every Saturday, I use lots of different products. I love these kind of things make me happy, right? Crafting has always been a big stress reliever for me. So, and I get giddy, like literally giddy when new products come out. So you'll see me use lots of different products, and I always do my best to link to those in the description of the video down below. So you'll find information about where you can find the topics for each listing session. So for this listing session, there'll be a link so you can look at the topics, link to my website, links to lots of different products, because there's always lots of questions. So yes, Kathy, thank you for the reminder. Thumbs up. If you are here and you keep coming back, I assume that's because you like it. Please give it a thumbs up. That is super important. We always want the thumbs up to drown out these guys, because there's always a couple. And, you know, whatever. It's free country. If you want to give it a thumbs down, you can give it a thumbs down. But I might encourage you to maybe just go somewhere else where you enjoy what you're watching instead of hanging out here if you don't enjoy it. Anyhow, so you guys, this week, I didn't get something done that I said I was going to get done. And it caused me not to sleep last night. I woke up about 3 in the morning and couldn't go back to sleep. And then you're probably wondering, well, then why didn't you get it done? I didn't. And this morning about 8 o'clock, I decided, you know what? That's okay. It's okay to not get things done that we said we'll get done. So last week during our day-long celebration, there were a lot of prizes, a lot. I probably still have a couple hours ahead of me to sort through everything. I need to separate the prizes that were given away during the live, and those are the easy ones. It's the prizes that we're giving away after the fact and all the comments. So I still need to get my arms around all of that. Of course, I've put it into Excel because that's how my brain thinks, but I need to get through all those details. So we're probably, I need a little bit longer this week. And so probably what I'll do is just fast forward to next week, and I'll announce all of those prizes next week. So I knew you guys would understand. And if not, well, guess what? Life happens sometimes, and that's what we get. All right, what else did we have to talk about before we get going? I don't think anything. Really quick, I just want to, you still love me. Oh, thanks, Denise, I appreciate it. Yes, lots going on, always lots going on. One of the other lists that we will be doing today, which will be a two-part, today we'll talk about our good habits. Next week, we'll talk about our bad habits. So one of my bad habits that will be on my list next week is taking on too much, right? A lot of us do that. We take on too much, but I'm focusing on one of the good habits is realizing when I'm taking on too much and saying, you know what, I can't do it all, and it's okay. All right. Okay. Oh, somebody from Nigeria. I love that. And that's the coolest thing, you guys. We get people literally here joining us on Saturdays from all over the world, which is just so amazing. A lot of people watch live, but then a lot of people watch the replay because, you know, life and time zones and different things. So, but I think we're ready to go ahead and get started. Hi, PK. We're going to go ahead and start it. So I need to turn on some lights, turn off some lights. So I'll do that now. Off that one, because then it's far too dark. So raining here in Utah. Which is nice. We didn't have a ton of snow this year, and we are a high mountain desert, so we definitely rely on snow when it comes to the summer for our precipitation. So it's good that it's raining today. Okay, now we're all going to imagine that we're at Disneyland. And when we get on a ride at Disneyland, they tell us a couple things, but one of them is to make sure to put our arms and legs inside the ride and keep them there at all times, because we're going to go on a little ride. I need to spin the camera. So if you get dizzy like the teacups at Disneyland, maybe just shut your eyes. We're going to do a quick spin, and then you won't look at me anymore. You will look at Michelle. Those are planners. Yeah, those are planners. All right, there we go. I know though, I love it. And no, I don't use them. I don't use a planner anymore. I use my traveler's notebook. Or I use a traveler's notebook. I shouldn't say my because I use many traveler's notebooks for different things. But I just love them there. Yeah, they make me happy. Alrighty, let's get some light on the subject. So I did hear this week on the news, I think Disneyland, Disney World, I believe, is already open in Florida. Maybe, I don't know. You guys have to tell me. But Disneyland, I think, maybe opening soon. But I also did hear that maybe they were considering. Oh, plug in the phone. Okay, here we go. Hold on. I can't plug in the phone ahead of time because when we spin, it gets all. Disneyland, April 305th. Michelle, I'm assuming that was a typo. Although for a lot of people, it probably seems like April 305th, April 30th. That is exciting. But I did hear you guys. Okay, let's make sure we're good there. Hold on, I gotta look at my little head under. You can see me. Yeah, I think I know we're plugged in. Okay. Anyhow, we just don't want to lose power because if we lose power, then that's a problem. But I did hear you guys. I thought that I heard that. Hang on. Let me just, where am I going? No, it's when I have to think backwards because I just need to, we'll just scoot it all over here a little bit more. That do it? I just don't, almost. Okay. Anyhow, let's see. Oh, I know that they were maybe going to say that you couldn't scream on a ride. And I assume that's because, if you're screaming, lots of things are getting out and lots of particles are getting out in the air. I don't know how you stop people from screaming on a ride though. It just comes out of me. I just scream. So, all right. One quick thing that I want to mention. One of the things that I gave away last week, and then I heard from quite a few people saying, that's not fair. I mean, in a good way. That's not fair. Where can we get one of those? And that was a little scatter mug. So I had purchased 2 of these. I bought one for myself, and then I also bought one to give away. And then I was also kind of testing the waters. I wanted to test the product first so I know what was coming about offering some different scatter, our little mascot merchandise on my website. And that happened this week. So I've seen lots of orders come through for these so far. They are available in 4 colors. And when I say 4 colors, the handle and the inside. So either yellow like you see, teal, red, or black. One quick thing about these that I just want to mention, and this is hopefully listed very clearly on my website. Those are printed and shipped by a third party. And the reason I want to bring that up is because if you are ordering, there's also shirts. If you're ordering shirts or the mug from my website, and you're also ordering something else in your same order, you're basically going to see one shipping charge, but the shipping charge is coming from 2 different places. It's coming from me because you ordered something directly from me, and then I will be shipping that out. Like if you ordered a kit or stickers or something, traveler's notebook, or it is coming, or I should say, and it would be coming from the third party. So I just like to mention that because depending on what you're ordering, the shipping might look super high, maybe higher than what you're used to. And that would just be because it is coming from 2 different places. It's really fun that I can offer some different merchandise like that without having to carry the inventory. Because I tell you what, if I tried to bring mugs into the house, because everything else that we sell is in the house, Nick would be like, oh my gosh, we can't do this. So much easier to do it that way. Anyhow, I just cheated a little bit. My cuticles were super dry, so I just put a little bit of cuticle oil on. Kathy said, saw the shirts and will be wearing mine every Saturday for the Scatter Squad, which I love that. I loved that. Karen, I'm confused. You stalked my printer link and it doesn't work. I'll have to look at that. I'll have to go look and see. Squirrel Squad fan club merch. I know, yes, isn't that so cool? And you guys, what's so cool about the whole scatter is that that came from you guys. I mean, well, anyway, that's a whole other story on how scatter came to be. But okay, let's dig in. So we have 3 lists today. Oh, one more thing that I'm going to mention. Usually I start out by looking at our lists from the last week. Now, there were a lot of lists last week. Some I got further on than others, just so I could try to keep us on track. So I need to do a little bit more work to finish those up, and I'll start sharing those next week. Okay, our first list, things I'm looking forward to this spring. Today is, I think, today's the first day of spring, right? The 20th or the 21st? Anyhow, it's today or tomorrow. So perfect timing for us to do a list about things that we are looking forward to this spring. I'm pulling out, I started a new insert last week, so you can see. If you missed us last week, partial list, lots of work to do still. A little bit of tiny work to do there. This one, I think this is the way we left this one. I loved this one, using the color study, the new color study collection from my pal Vicki Booten. One quick thing that I mentioned color study. You guys have been shopping like crazy, which is so awesome, and it is so appreciated, and I'm so thankful for you guys. Color study has come in and out of stock twice. It is on order again. I have another reorder coming, so just know if you missed it, the best thing to do with any of the products, if they show out of stock, and 99% of the time I'm bringing them back in if you can still see them. If I'm not, I archive them so you can't see them. But is on each of the products, like if you were looking for, let's say, the paper pad, and it shows out of stock, on each of the products, there's a little button that says email me when available. That is all completely automated. So as soon as I add product back in, it would automatically send you an email, and especially color study as fast as it's been going. That's the best bet to make sure that you know when something comes in right away. All right. So all 3 lists today that I'm doing are going to be 2-page lists. Okay, so things I'm looking forward to this spring. I'm using the Bunnies and Bloom collection from Simple Stories. And this one I've had on my website for a little while, but we haven't used it yet because it just really wasn't, we just weren't ready for it yet. What I think is really fun about this collection is that it kind of has 2 totally different personalities. Half of it is spring, and that's where you get the bloom side, but the other half is bunnies, so kind of the Easter side, which anytime you have a collection that, I mean, this is a pretty themey collection, but I like that it's 2 themes in one, so we can kind of work with it a little bit. So this week I will be using, for my things I'm looking forward to about spring, I'll be using the blooms side of the collection. Next week, I will be using the bunnies side of the collection for another list. Okay, so 2-page list. I've pulled out of the paper pad, I've already pulled out some papers. I know that I want to use this paper over on this side. Oh yeah, and I dropped a little bit of, I don't know if you can see that. I dropped a little bit of my cuticle oil on there. Oh, this paper with the roses. I know. You know what? I think one of the reasons I love this collection so much, it reminds me a lot of some of the things that Maggie Holmes does, like with the roses and stuff. So you know how much I love that. All right, so 2-page list. I think I'm going to use that really cute rainbow on the right side. And I love the rainbow, how it kind of has, it's a little bit of a different rainbow, right? Different colors, but also I love how one of the little rainbow, I don't know, what rays? I don't know. What are the individual parts of the rainbow called? That one, whatever it is. I love that it has flowers in there instead of a color. So that will go over here. On this side, I am going to start with another color as my base. So I've pulled out some of the springy kind of things here. There's a lot of yellow. You guys know, well, you may know that I really like yellow. So that's probably why, another reason why I really love this collection. Just wanted to grab really quick the extra or the other die cuts that I had pulled out because as I was thinking this morning, might be kind of fun to incorporate some of these little things like the, the flowers, kind of a little bit more of the blooms. So a couple more flowers. Arch, thank you. Yes, the arch. I know sometimes things just completely right out of your head, right? These are so cute. These little wellies or galoshes or hunter boots or whatever. So let's see. We'll just grab some of these things out. We'll just push them all up there so we have them near, and then I can move all the bunny things. Use that one. Little spades, flowers, watering cans. All right. There we go. So we'll move all these out of the way, just so cute little mouse. All right. So with all of that, now what do I want to do over here? I think I'll probably stay away from the pink just because this arch is the predominant arch and it's super pink. Well, it's pink. That would be a lot of pink for me. And I know, I don't think that's the right one. Now, of course, everything's double-sided, so we have to look on both sides. I don't know, that yellow could be, well, all right. I was gonna say the yellow could be cute, but I'll use a lot of the yellow in there, so I don't wanna use the yellow. I know I don't wanna do rainbow, because that's too much. Let's see, maybe, oh golly, look at that one. That will get used for something else. I think I'm going to go with that guy. I think that's enough of a contrast, and then that will work with some of the yellow that I bring in. We'll just look at the other sides. I think that's too dark for what I want to go with. Good morning, Cammie. Carol. This one, so cute. The bunnies, but bunnies will come in next week. The plaid, I like the plaid, but I think again, there's just too much of the pink in there. So I think that is going to be purple, and I'm not a huge purple fan, so stay away from the purple. Not sure cute. Eggs, gardening tools. All right, friends, I think that is it. That's the one we're going to go with. All right, so that'll be the base. And then I know I need some white cardstock because I need to make my list on the cardstock. So let's turn behind me and grab my cardstock. And we'll bring in the trimmer. Good morning, Ethel from Illinois. The mint check, I know, right? Isn't that cute? That gingham or, well, I guess it's not called buffalo check because I don't know, is buffalo check strictly for black and white check or who knows? Yes, the gingham, the check, super cute. All right, so my inserts I use are standard wide. Standard height is 8.25 when you're talking about a traveler's notebook. Generally, when you're talking about sizing, like a standard or a standard wide, it's referring to the size of the insert, not necessarily the size of the traveler's notebook itself. But it can be. Just like anything, different manufacturers will call their products different things. So standard seems to be a pretty standard terminology. So standard in traveler's notebooks is always 8.25 tall. A standard width is 4.25 or 4.25-ish. I prefer standard wide. Standard wide is what I use, and that is about an extra 3/4 of an inch on a page. So on a spread, that gives you an extra 1.5 inches. So 1.5 inches is a lot when you're not really working with a lot of space here. So with all of that said, I need to trim this down because it's too big. I will probably end up losing a little bit of my arch on both sides. So if I trim, the paper from the paper pad is 6 by 8. So if I go to let's see, if we take a 1/2 inch off of both sides, that would take me to 5. And that is the width of my insert. But I think I want to, because the paper is 8, my insert is 8.25. I have a little bit of a border above and below, so I would like to have a little bit of a border left and right. With all of that said, I'm going to go in now and do another 1/4 inch off of both sides. That's good. That got rid of my little not spill, just spatter, maybe that's what it was, my cuticle oil. All right, so let's look. There we go. That will be good. Corner rounder. Here we go. Tina, welcome from the UK. Heather, life called. I know. Don't you hate it when life calls? Sometimes you're like, yeah, life, I'm kind of busy. Can you call back? Cute Rainbow, Josephine. This is from Simple Stories. It is from the Bunnies and Blooms collection. And I have linked to that in the description of the video down below. So for our first list, I'm using Bunnies and Blooms, and I will also be using Bunnies and Blooms for one of our lists next week. Okay, oh, here we go. So I probably want to be the same width and height here. So we'll just cheat, right? I don't need to do my measuring. Here I'm not worried about, cutting some off the right and some off the left like I did here. That was important here because I wanted that pattern to be centered, but here it doesn't matter. Let's just see. I ended up with 4.5. So we'll go to 4.5. That's on the right. This is on the left. So I will round the corners on the left outside edges. Well, it doesn't really matter here because I could just rotate it, but. Oh, the hour difference. So, oh yes, right. International friends. It is, yes, we do something weird. I don't know. Do you guys do that internationally? I don't know if that's a US thing or if it's done in Canada or other parts of the world. We go through daylight savings in the spring and the fall. All but two of our states are like, that doesn't make any sense. So Arizona and Indiana don't do that, but we do. Okay, somebody just asked the measurement. Oh, Melissa. So it is, I've kept it at the 8 inches tall. That is the size of the paper when it comes out of the 6x8 pad. But the width is 4.5. And I feel that gives me kind of a nice little border all the way around the outside. Hi, Michelle, Polka Dot Whimsy. Your granddaughter's birthday today. I know, I saw that Lil graduated. That is so exciting. Congratulations. You guys need a little positive, huh? Okay. So there we go. Now I need to cut one more piece because this is too busy for me to make my list on. I mean, I could, but I think writing on there, you'd lose, it just would be too busy for me. So I also need a piece of white cardstock that I will cut, and it will give me just a little bit more of that fun border. So when I buy white cardstock, like 250 sheets at a time, and I buy that from Amazon, and I have that linked in the description of the video. I prefer using 8.5 by 11 cardstock when I am working with a traveler's notebook, just because it's 8.5 and my inserts are 8.25. So if I just cut off 1/4, and because this is 11, my inserts are 5 inches wide, I can get 2 pieces with very little waste. On the scrapbook side of things, we generally use 12 by 12 paper, but for something like this, especially when it's white, I do the 8.5 by 11 all day long. All right, now that would be is if for some reason I wanted to fully cover that page. So a lot of times I will that looks so crooked. Oh, maybe not. Anyhow, my eyes are playing tricks on me. Oh, I went to the eye doctor yesterday. Finally, you guys, after a year. So progressives, He said, I can see fine far, but I'm up to like a 2.5 on a reader. And so I'm going for the progressive. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks, my eyesight will be, well, my eyesight won't be better, but the glasses situation will be better, and hopefully the headache situation will be better. And if you've never had your eyes dilated, holy cow, right? That's a whole just different weird experience. Hi, Shannon. All right, welcome to the world of progressives. Yes, he said, well, we could do bifocals or progressives, and he had a little whiteboard, and he's drawing me the difference, and I'm like, yeah, I don't want I mean, nothing wrong with bifocals, but yeah, so I'm gonna try progressives. We'll see how we do. Okay, we had a little squirrel moment there. I got a little off track, but that's what happens. You know, that's what happens. That's what you get when you get the Lael show on Saturdays. Jennifer, since you were 36, yes, that's what I hear. It takes a little bit of getting used to the progressives, but I've been doing readers for so long, and I wear them all the time. And then I just, look like an old granny because I have them down on my, down on my nose, and I kind of look up and above. So, or down and anyhow, whatever. Okay, back to the task at hand. So this is now sized if I was going to do my list on the full page, but that's too big. So my base paper is 4.5. So I think what I will do, let's try doing this maybe 4. So if I do 4, that'll give me a nice little border all the way around the outside. And the height is 8.25. And so I'll do this one at 7 3/4, because that should give me a nice 1/2 inch. Actually, let's make that a little bit less. Just trial and error, right? All right, that will be good. So now we can get rid of the trimmer. I think we are good with that for a while. Gosh, it's so dark outside. That's weird. All right. Dilated, yes. I know, alien eyes, exactly. Look in the mirror and you're like, oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, and I had my appointment at 7:45 in the morning, and so as I was driving home, oh, I forgot to get my little garbage can. Where did that escape to? Hang on. As I was driving home from my appointment, it's like glaring sun because I'm driving right into the sun, and yeah, and then a little blurry. He's like, it's not going to be a problem if we dilate your eyes, is it? And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I have so much work to do. I've got like so many things where I need to be able to see. And I'm like, well, no, I guess not. So yeah, it worked. Alrighty, so let's forgot to get out my adhesive. We're not going to get very far without that. Okay. Melissa, you got yours last year. You love them. Wonderful. Yes, move your eye. Yeah, I know, it'll be interesting, but let's see, Karen. Strabismus surgery. How much the bloody? Oh yeah, I bet, right? And I don't know what that is, but when you say bloody eyes, that does. Or if you pop a blood vessel or something in your eye, yes, it does. It gets kind of freaky, huh? Alrighty, here we go. I need to. Normally, I'm not too picky with how things line up. However, when you're using a paper that clearly has lines in it, you want to line things up. At least I do, because if I don't, it will look really funny. I keep telling myself every time I cut something off like this, I need to come back and use this somewhere, because I could, and I won't do it this one because I know I'm already going to use the butterfly, but if I was making a 2-page list, that would be really cute right there, just to go along the side. I mean, it's a nice contrast. I mean, I could obviously do that too, but if you're using a 6x8 pad and cutting those pieces off, keep those, because those are good pieces to keep. All right, and then this will go over here. So I'm gonna go ahead and adhere. Sometimes I will make my lists completely, how how do I say this? Sometimes I would make it like this and do the whole list without actually adhering it first into the insert. And a lot of times I will do that as my insert gets more full and more full. When you get towards the end, you end up with a lot of bulk on this side and not very much on this side. So it gets a little bit harder to work on any of the pages that are on the left side, just because there's so much already under them. In that case, that's when I would work on the page, you know, standalone, and then go back and adhere it after the fact. I just want to make sure to try to get pretty close to the edges there, because here I didn't quite get close enough. So it's lifting a little bit, but that's all right. I can go back in and actually. I'll just go back and fix that later. All right. So now, oh, Mindy, he has to get shots in his eyes, your husband. Holy moly. S. Jameson, I did pull out some Distress Inks and Oxides. I bought probably 12 new colors, and they had been sitting here. Probably for 3 months. And I thought, you know what? I need to pull these out and use them. So we'll kind of talk about these inks, the difference between the ink and the oxide. And Shannon, these come from Bunnies and Blooms, and I have linked Bunnies and Blooms, and Libby. I've linked Bunnies and Blooms in the description of the video. Yes, so cute. All right, so outline. Oh, I can already tell it's time to switch out my Sharpie. Because eventually the nib starts to get a little flat. Like you can barely even see this one. Yes, I'm going to finish this outline and then throw this one away, because I know what'll happen is if I try to write with this, it'll be okay. You probably wouldn't notice. I would totally notice, because it's so flat. It's been used so much. It's so flat that it, I think that my writing would be uneven. I mean, my letters would have, some parts of my letters would have more ink than others. So, hold on. Shannon, so if your order hasn't shipped yet, I can add it super easy. Just shoot me an email and say, please add this to my order. Then that way it can all ship together and you don't pay shipping twice. Now, if that ever happens and you want to add to your order and you don't email me, or you didn't realize you forgot, and then you place a separate order, if you let me know that you've done that, then I can I can't combine them on the back end, but I can make it work, and then I can refund the shipping. But it's usually, oh, you did, Shannon. Okay. Yeah. If you've got the shipping notice, then it is, yep, it's out the door. Okay. For my list, I am going to use a clipboard stamp, because you know I love the clipboard stamps. So I had pulled out that clipboard stamp to use. And I know now that I'm not going to use that one. The reason I'm not going to use that one is because it is very angular, right? Super angular. All these angles, and these are really, well, they're not angles. These are really soft arcs or arches. So I think that might bug me. So I'm going to go back to the original listed stamps, and I will use kind of my standby. The one that started it all, right? And you guys, some of you know that story. I have a stamp set from Fiskars that is probably, I don't know, 8 or 9 years old. And it had lots of different stamps on it, but it had a clip stamp. Hang on, let me move this. Anytime I used it and people saw it on social media, they'd be like, oh my gosh, I love that. Where can I get it? And Fiskars hasn't made it for years. So after trying to find it, and we couldn't find it, I talked to my friend Andy K Arts, and she has now made us 3 different clip stamps, which I just love, love, love. Terry, you hated them at first and love them now. Okay, good to know. Oh, Ronnie, I'm so glad. We try. Sometimes we make a mistake. Sometimes, yeah, we try. So I'm glad that you were appreciative of the service. Sarah, I know, right? Remember, it was like frenzy, and every once in a while we could find them on Amazon. It was like, oh my gosh. And then you guys, if we were watching, I mean, if we were listing and someone would say, I found them on Amazon, it was like crickets, because a lot of people would try to go find it really quickly and then they would sell out. So super excited. Now we have our own, and our little community, well, anyone could get them, but now we have them, our little community has them, and we can use them whenever we want. And Andy, oh yeah, she's always working on new things. So the last one that she came out with was the List It mini clips, which was so fun because they're a bunch of little minis if you want to make little lists with little clipboards. All right, there we go. All right, I normally I would just put that off to the side and deal with it later, but I can't today because I need, where is it? I'm going to need that block, so I just need to clean it. Let's see, real quick, if I can find, oh, here we go. Yeah, I just need to clean that really quick. Lorna, I know, I'm so sorry. So Lorna lives in the UK, and Lorna just said she wished she could get them in the UK. Here's the thing, and Lorna, I'm sure you know, as I think it's something that probably people in the UK are very familiar with now, with the Brexit that was happening. There were a bunch of tax changes that were put in place, and our friends in the UK government decided that if you were going to do business in the UK, and you don't even have to, I mean, I did business in the UK, meaning that people could buy my products online and have them shipped to them. But if you are a business and you're doing business in the UK, then you have to file taxes in the UK. So I'm like, oh my goodness, a lot of small businesses, unfortunately, in the US had to stop selling in the UK because just trying to figure out, I mean, it's a pain. Filing taxes in the US and in your own state, that's one thing, but then trying to figure out how to file taxes in another country. So unfortunately, I had to stop. I had to stop in the UK. So I'm so sorry. All right, here we go. Now I'm making my little piece of paper. Michelle, you did get them. I saw that. That's fun. Michelle, Polka Dot Whimsy, and I have known each other, oh my gosh, for years. We both worked in the industry together for a really long time, worked for different manufacturers, and yeah. So it's kind of fun. Alrighty. Next up, I need a title. Things I'm looking forward to this spring. So what I might do, maybe something over here. I pulled out the spring sticker book from Simple Stories. Terry, we are working on the first one. This one is things I'm looking forward to this spring. Oh yeah, never mind. That's okay. Another thing really quick, you guys, and because I'm never on your end watching, there is a little bit of a delay, I think, in what I see on the chat, what you guys type on the chat, what I see on the screen, what you see on the screen. So sometimes I may see your question late and then answer it late, or yes. Fran said in Alberta, the time change. Okay. All right. So I pulled out the spring because I figured, well, spring, these would probably go well together. All right. I still am kind of deciding if I'm over here, maybe. Total sidetracked, but those are going to go right there. Those little flowers there are perfect. Those are from the die cuts from Bunnies and Blooms. So normally I think I would put, well, not think, normally I'd put washi along the bottom. But in this case, I think those flowers are perfect because they're like the perfect width for my little list. So let's go ahead and add those now. Melissa just ordered bow stamp sets. You will love them. They're just so fun. They're good for tons of different things, I think. But especially lists. And I'd say what, you guys, 99.9999999 to infinity % of the time. I use black ink when I'm stamping that little clip. I really, really, really have to get outside my box using colored ink. So we'll do that on the next one. Hi, Rachel. Yes, welcome. You are new here. I do. In the description of the video, I have links to a lot of different things, but I have a website, and you'll find a link to the website there. And it is lailbymail.com. Oh, yes, Nigeria. That's perfect. And I do have a lot of people that do that. So she said, I'm trying to see if I can order stuff and send to a family or friend in the US and then wait for someone to come. So if you're in the UK, that would be maybe an option too. I have a little frog in my throat. Oh, ooh, ooh, ooh. Yes, my lemonade is not in the room. So let's see if Nick is maybe still on listening. Then he would go, oh, she needs a drink. Sorry, I keep doing that. I know that's going to be really annoying. In a minute, I may just have to leave and grab my drink. All right, so looking through different colors. Oh, yes. It could be an escorted shopping trip, right? All right. So what I need to, though, figure out first is what other die cuts. Before I do my little title, I think I need to figure out what other die cuts that I want to put in here, because that will probably drive maybe the title. So let's see. Let's see what we're going to do. Oh, that could be cute up there maybe, right? I already know ahead of time my list is going to be what I call a run-on list. So they won't have bullets. I'll just basically, write all of my little things I'm looking forward to. We'll just roll one into the other, into the other. Pink tulips. I know I love tulips. Wanda, thank you. Yes, Nick, please get me a drink. Oh, bless his heart. He's so, in a good way, in a good way. I always have to remember to say that. He's so good to me, but he's not here yet. Maybe, I don't know. I'm thinking probably not on the bird, just because we have those two things up there and then it's too blocky. So no on the bird. But we'll see. Maybe bird somewhere. Probably not these guys, because unless I bring a lot more green in. Have to bring in some more green. So let's see. I really like the idea of having like some of, oh yeah, that won't work. Too tall. Too tall. And the brown. Those won't go together in my head. So let's see. Maybe we have a few more little flowers over here. Maybe that one. Oh, aha. So these are the Puffy stickers. And the Puffy stickers, different scale, right? Much smaller. So I use Puffy stickers a lot in my list just because the size. Sometimes, depending on what you're working on, you want something big. Like I like the big here. But everything else I think is probably a little bit too big because of that. So let's look and see what maybe could go over here. So there, this was maybe okay. So if we did kind of that, we could have another little one. There are some other flowers on here. Let's see. Oh no, that's really little. Maybe we'll just end up with daffodils here. No, daffodils and tulips. Daffodils always seem like, what are the other ones? Are they crocuses? Are those little ones that come, well, I was going to say come out of the ground. They all come out of the ground. Well, some of them come in a vase, but they all come out of the ground. Terry just asked, Lael, did Jack get home to Washington safe and sound? He did, yes. Jack is our older son. Thanks for asking, Terry. He is our older son that lives in Tacoma, Washington, so Washington State. those are good there. He is studying to become a chef. Everything was closed down in Washington State in early December, so he drove home and was here for 3 months. I mean, okay, I shouldn't say it that way, because when I say 3 months, that sounds like I'm saying it was a long time. Not a long time for us. Pretty sure it was a really long time for him. I guarantee you he never planned on being home for that long. I kind of like that over there. He didn't plan on being home for that long. But yes, he drove back on Wednesday. He started Wednesday, got back Thursday, had a big orientation at the restaurant where he works yesterday, and was going to be working again today. And the restaurant opens up next Tuesday, which is good, which is kind of fun. All right, so I think what I'm going to do here, I am going to make the little I don't know, flight path. Is that what that's called? Little flight path from the butterfly flying. Just because there was still a lot of white space up there, and putting the butterflies up there helped, but there was still a lot of white space. So it kind of just added a little something by doing the little butterflies flight path. And I just, draw those little dashed lines. There. All right. So now, interesting, I didn't use as much yellow as I thought, did I? Little bit. Down here. So let's see what we want to use. I know I don't want to use pink, just because that, again, same reason, there's a lot of pink going on there. That's not quite the right lavender color. That one would probably go. I'm just not a huge purple fan. So, I don't know, maybe we go back to yellow, not orange. If you are new to the sticker books from Simple Stories, they always have 6 different colors. There are 12 sheets in the sticker book, so for each color, there are 2 sheets. You have a large alpha, and then a small alpha, and then the little squares. So I'm thinking I think it might be the yellow. Some of you will be very surprised that I'm picking yellow, because I use yellow a lot. Hi, Cindy. Yeah, the sticker books are awesome. That is that's one of my basic things that I always just have handy and I go back to, because the alpha stickers are they're handy, especially when you're doing titles. So I have pulled out my little steel ruler. I always pull out my steel ruler when I am going to use stickers for a title, because that way I can center and know where it needs to be. So do we want the big ones? I think we need to go small, because I think that's too big. All right, get out my little tweezers. Oh, so when we talk about the basic tools, the basic products and tools, the ruler, the tweezers, the stickers, on my website, there is a link under, I think it's under what's new. That's my go-to basics. So kind of just some more of the basic things, like the adhesive and the ink blocks and the corner rounder. Just some of those basics that I always go back to. I missed it. What's the holiday we all need? Like button, please. Yes, Karen, thank you. Like button. All right, so I'm lining up the letters. So when I use the ruler, I do that for 2 reasons. Number 1, I am taking advantage of this line that runs horizontally, so I can line them up straight. That's the first way that I use the ruler. So then you'll see the second way in a minute. So Simple Stories has 9 now of these sticker books. The original 4, Lights, Brights, Basics, and Bold. The Basics is a good one, because that one is black and white and brown, and something else. Oh, cream. The 4 new ones are seasons. So spring, summer, winter, fall. And I have all of them because I use them all the time. Okay, spring in G. I know, Anne, right? I know. You know what? Who knows? Who knows? I guess free country, if people want to come on and give it a thumbs down, that is A-okay. That's when we just have to drown them out, right? We have to drown them out. That's why the more thumbs up, the better. And, you know, we could think, oh, maybe they just accidentally hit the wrong one. But I don't think so. I don't think so. That's all right. You know, I always say I'm not for everyone. I know I have a very strong personality. I'm not for everyone. And if I'm not for you, just go find who is for you, right? Okay. Oh, good, Reggie, you did. Yes, you bought them all from Michelle. Good, good, good. All right, so now what I need to do, my title is Things I'm Looking Forward to This Spring. So what I don't want to do, I don't want to now put things I'm looking forward to and then put spring right here because I think that will look a little weird, maybe. But here's how I can test it out. Let's just grab, let's grab this little piece. Ha ha ha, not for everyone. Oh yeah, right? But I'm for someone, at least Nick and some of you because you hang out. All right, so because I'm not sure if I'm going to like where I might put the things I'm looking forward to right there, but I don't know. So this is a great way to just pretend and see if we like it. Things I'm looking forward to. So now we will just chop that off and pretend. So if that were to go right there, do I like the way that looks? Actually, I do. I didn't think I would, but I like the way that looks. So now I can go ahead and let's write it first. Normally, I would not measure, but I am going to just put a little pencil mark right here. That's how I know where I want to start my writing. Things I'm looking forward to. Oh, guess what? I didn't do this. I forgot a word. So, oh, Tracy, I love that. You never watch whole YouTube videos except for, oh, that's so fun. Thank you. So I forgot a word. Things I'm looking forward to. It should have said this, but you know what? It doesn't say this, so that's okay. Things I'm looking forward to. Spring. Yes, I am looking forward to spring. That's okay, right? All right, so the second reason I'm using the ruler, the first reason is so I can line up all the letters straight, but the second reason is now this is free moving, right? So I can decide exactly where I want it. Like if I wanted it to be off center, which that's not me, I couldn't do that. I could go there, or if I wanted to go here, or I could go up here. I could, figure out where I want it. But I know I want it here. And by being able to move it back and forth, I can get it centered. So that looks about centered. Then I just push the tops of all those little letters down and gently hold them down and lift up. And there we go. Oh, there we go. Easy peasy. Okay, things I'm looking forward to spring. And I really meant this spring, but that's a weird optical illusion. It looked like that part of the end was lifting. Okay, so I think I like this guy here. Let's add a little adhesive up here at the top part. But then here I am going to add my little glue pen. In some of those weird places. Well, and that was obviously, there's no way I could get my tape runner. I'm not that talented. All right. Now, let's just put that right about there. Okay, so things I'm looking forward to this spring. Now, I always have to cheat ahead of time, friends. I always have to cheat ahead of time because, oh, let's put this in. I have to make my list ahead of time because I just can't think off the top of my head like that. So now I will pull out my little list off to the side and write about the things. List the things that I'm looking forward to this spring. So what we're doing, what about putting in spring? I'm not sure. Oh, I know. You mean like putting this right there. Is that what you mean? Like writing this in the middle of spring? Maybe. Or you could do a little piece of paper in there. I could do a little label in there, but I think it's just, it is what it is. It's going to be that way. If I was to do it over, I would have it say this, but that's okay. So what we're doing here, if you haven't joined in before, we are doing what I call creative listing. So I love to make lists. I have always been a list maker. I was talking to my dad the other day. Some of you know the story with my dad. We are in the process of making a pretty big decision with my dad, and I'll maybe share more about that in the next couple of weeks. But one of the things I've kind of using reverse psychology on my dad, and I told him this is what I was doing. He is suffering from short-term dementia, so I'm very clear with him about what I'm doing. But I said, Dad, I'm going to use reverse psychology on you because when I was a kid, you taught me that making lists was a good thing, especially if you are facing a pretty big decision. And it's, you know, it's very stressful. And so we talked about making a pros cons list. And so when I was a kid, we would sit down and we'd have the pro side and the con side, and you'd write things down. And it's amazing, generally, when you do that, how the pro side far outweighs things on the con side. So we're list making, but we're kind of putting a spin on things because I love to also play with stickers and paper and washi and die cuts and stamps and all the things. So we are putting the listing together with the creative side, and we're creative listing, but we're also memory keeping, right? We are also memory keeping. Even though, I mean, I'm making a list about things I'm looking forward to this spring. That may not necessarily seem like I'm memory keeping, but if I had made this exact same list 10 years ago, the things on my list 10 years ago probably very different than the things that are on my list today. So memory keeping takes place in many different shapes and forms, and that's what we're doing. We're creative listing, we're memory keeping, especially when we bring photos in, right? Oh, look it. So Debbie said something interesting. This could be fun too. So what Debbie said, she said, as far as the word this, and I love it when you guys make suggestions because I think are always super helpful for me to hear, but for you guys to hear too. Debbie said, put this in a long drawn out font, so a very like cursive kind of font, and put it on vellum, print it on vellum, and then it could go right here. So either I could write it that way, or I could print it out and put it right there on vellum. So it just kind of lay right on top of there, which could be very fun. A totally different type of font, right? Using, because this is a super kind of bold, right? Sans serif font. It doesn't have any serifs. So when we are looking at blending different fonts together, something like this, right? And that says chill, so obviously it wouldn't go there, but something like that, chill, would be very fun with a font like that. In fact, the happy could be really fun to maybe use somewhere. Anyhow, okay, so now for the list. What I think I'm going to do, one last thing, I am going to pepper in some of these cute little stickers, just as I go with my list. Yes, Debbie, very cool idea. All right. Okay. Having the windows open. That's definitely one of the things. So can I fit windows? No, I can't. Having the windows open. fresh air. Oh, that's a big one, right? So I need something a little right there because I have some space. So I could use maybe a little heart. There we go. Having the windows open, fresh air, of course. Tulips and daffodils. Of course, longer days, right? Longer days. More sunshine. And I think I now need another little something to go right in here. Because, oh, let's see, maybe this guy. This is when the, I don't know. This is when the little guys, my heavens, the Puffy Stickers are good, again, because of the scale. So Terry said she's afraid to use the Puffy Stickers because of the bumps they will create, which that's a great, I'm glad that you brought that up, Terry, because that is a consideration, right? Because anytime that we are adding basically anything to our pages, other than just writing on it, even if we're using die cuts or stickers, it does create a little bit of a bump. And the Puffy Stickers will create a little bit more of a bump than just say a die cut or a flat sticker. That is why sometimes, especially here, when I get to this list I will actually, I know I will. I will do separately. So I will do something like, let's see, something like this. This is still in the very early stages from last week, but where I will make the list entirely on its own piece of paper, and then I will come in and glue that there. So then I'm not dealing with the little bumps underneath. So as I get deeper and deeper, those bumps, you won't even, that a little bit of extra dimension won't really come into play as you get deeper and deeper in. All right. Oh yes, I was looking at something to go right in here. All right, not that one because it's too green. Green and green. Oh, that one has green too. I won't do a carrot because carrot, oh, that's cute. I won't do a carrot because we'll do that one right there. And it's okay that it kind of jumps into days. I won't do the carrot because, no, I don't like that there. There's nothing going to go here. I'm going to keep writing. I think it's because it's in the center of the page that it's kind of throwing me off a bit. All right. More sunshine. Oh yes, spending time outside. Now, obviously you can spend time outside any time of year, but it's a lot more fun when it is nice outside, right? Planting the annuals for the front porch. I do that 2 times a year, early spring and then kind of early summer. Let's see. Do you mindfully make sure they don't match up when you close the book? I'm not sure what you mean, Terry. Okay, planning annuals for the front porch. I know this sounds funny, but the yard cleanup. I like doing that. Where we live in our little community, we have part of our HOA. We live in an HOA, so part of our HOA is they like mow and things, and they say that they do a little bit of yard cleanup, but yeah, not really. So I like to go in and just, clean out the beds and things like that, flower beds, because yeah, it just, it's like rebirth. It's new and fresh, and things are clean, and it just feels good, right? You know what? I don't know that there's going to be anything else in the middle there because I keep struggling with that. So maybe we'll just set that off to the side. Oh, I understand. Yes. So like this. No, Terry, I would like to say I mindfully do that. I don't. I for sure don't. For sure don't. I don't mindfully do a lot of things. Oh. Oh, and this one. This is another one too. Spring cleaning. I like to do that. Again, it's just kind of the things being fresh and clean and okay. And this is another one, and this is a personal thing, right? So I always say you do you, and if this isn't you, then that's okay. Wait, what did Nick say? Did I miss something from Nick? Is he back on? Yeah, honey, if you're on, she really likes to tell me to do it, and she watches. Oh, whatever, honey. Such a joker. Honey, will you bring me my lemonade? I forgot to bring it in. Okay, spring cleaning. Okay, yes, I was saying this. You do you, but this is something I'm very much looking forward to, is that hopefully everyone who wants vaccine gets a vaccine. Right. And if you want it, then you get it. And if you don't, then you don't. Right? You do you. So that's something I'm very much looking forward to. And what's interesting, different cities, different counties, different states, different countries for sure, obviously are all in different places in terms of rolling out the vaccine. So hopefully spring, and if it takes summer, then, even into the summer. Reggie, that was your number one. I love that. All right. So then, hummingbirds. I love the hummingbirds. We have a couple feeders in the backyard, and so it's always interesting to watch them because they get very territorial, and they get angry with each other sometimes. So yes, love the hummingbirds and the robins, and then just kind of the birds chirping and Did I already say fresh air? Usually I try to. Oh, I did. Usually I'm over here. A big one in Utah. Things turning from brown to green. We definitely get brown here because we get lots of snow, so everything pretty much totally dies, and then that transition. Oh, you know what I didn't add? Was it on my list? The rain. Love the rain in the spring. I always look forward to that. And generally, it's the rain that helps things go from brown to green, right? And then we, I think I just have a couple more. Artichokes. Artichoke season. Now, artichokes are around all year. Artichokes are around all year. Artichokes do not taste good all year. Well, they taste good, but sometimes they're just really, really hard, and they don't, no matter how long you cook them, they're just not good. So artichoke season is the spring. Barbecuing. So Donna, interesting, barbecuing. We generally, in my head, I associate barbecuing more for summer just because we live in the mountains, and spring in Utah, we get, like yesterday was 70 degrees. Today it's probably, well, it's not 30 because it's not snowing yet, but it's probably 40. So overnight, yay, thanks, honey. Oh, it was already made. That's okay, thank you. Thanks. Nick brought my lemonade, so I'm going to have a quick sip, you guys.
For the record, you don't do any of the spring cleanup outside.
That is not true, Nick. Whatever. All right. Who do you guys believe? Nick saying that I don't do any of the spring cleaning. He does all the heavy lifting part of it, but holy cow, that's lemony. All right. Yes, he is a keeper. Suzanne, you hate hummingbirds.
Yeah, I do the heavy lifting. That's what I said. You do the watching and pointing.
Oh, whatever. I do the watching and pointing. Yeah, I must do the watching and pointing, and I'm kicked back with my feet up, and, then someone else, let's say Sam is, fanning me with a palm frond, and then Jack's over in the corner peeling the grapes and feeding them to me one by one. Yeah, whatever. Artichoke season. And then also mangoes. Those should be both spring fruits, vegetables, what have you. So mangoes, there we go. So those are the things I am looking forward to this spring. And I have a little space right here. So I think that is the perfect spot to do a date. Where? Oh, yes. My date stamp, farmers markets. So yes, Donna, another thing. Farmers markets in Utah, usually early summer, because snow and it takes things a little bit longer to grow. Hi, Ruth from the UK. Ruth, I was talking about you earlier and how I was so impressed that you hung out so long last weekend. Until 2 in the morning or 2:30 in the morning your time. So that was awesome. Oh, strawberry season. Oh, yes. And okay, so Michelle lives in Carlsbad, California, which is between San Diego and LA, right? But there is, so Michelle, the flower fields, the one that's right by the outlet mall, that huge, all the tulips right by the outlet mall, right off the freeway. Oh my gosh, that is like the coolest thing ever. Michigan too, no farmers markets until late June. Wanda, you've never had an artichoke. Oh, my friend, you are missing out. Because what's so good about the artichokes is the dip. I make a tasty dip with, mayonnaise and fresh squeezed lemon juice, and then a lot of garlic. And then you dip the artichoke leaves in that. Very good. Okay, so today is the 20th, so 03/20. This is another one of the things I think it should be. I'm not sure if it is on my my basics list. This is the roller date stamp that I use on almost everything I do, right? Okay, I'm gonna try to get outside the box a minute. I'm not sure if it's going to work. So let's just try something. I always, when I do the date stamp, I only use black, but I'm just going to see. Okay, now I've inked with this black a lot, so there's a little bit of black still coming through. So I could do that right there. That would kind of be fun, wouldn't it? I think we're going to do that. Okay, all right. In the next list, we'll talk a little bit more about inks and the inks that I'm using here and the difference between the oxides and the inks. Ink, that term I just used kind of in general, right? All right, so that I think we will do right here. Now, do I have anything underneath it? Probably should grab. I'm using that little stamp block to go underneath it. Some people use what's called a pencil board, but basically the idea is you put something flat underneath the page that was before it, and then that would at least help anything that was on this side not get too bulky. Now, anything I'd already done on this side, if I had these little hearts right here, I might have trouble stamping right there because there'd be a little bit of dimension underneath, but that will help me right there. Now I better ink this up a little bit more. I don't want it to dry out. Artichoke dip, I know, right? Oh, I love artichokes. Don G. Now I'm remembering something from last week about your name. Don G3, and yes, but it's like fuzzy in my head, but I remember something because I think either in an email or in the chat you explained. I think in an email, maybe where that came from. All right, so let's just do this right here. There we go. Oh my gosh. I never, ever, ever, friends, I never do this. I never use I always only use black when I do the date stamp. So I'm glad I pulled these out to get a little bit adventurous. All right, let's just kind of get some of that excess ink off here. While I'm doing that, there are the two inks that I have out here. They're both Tim Holtz inks. They're both from Ranger. One is a Distress Oxide and one is a Distress Ink. There's a difference. So if you have joined me before, usually you see me use one of these two black inks. This is a dye-based ink and this is a pigment ink. And really, and I'm not the expert, and I always say I'm a hack stamper, but I'm trying to learn a little bit more, to educate myself a little bit more, because I think it's important that we know what we're doing and what we're using. There are all kinds of things that you can use these different types of inks for. I just really use them for stamping. An oxide falls on this side of the line. So it is a pigment-based ink. The ink is a dye-based ink. The big difference is that, you've heard me use this one before, and I call this a juicy ink. It's juicy. It's opaque, where this one is a little bit more transparent. So a dye-based ink is a little bit more transparent. A pigment ink is a little bit more opaque. The biggest thing I think to recognize if you have both or are using both, the pigment ink is juicy. It takes a little bit longer to dry, whereas the dye ink dries very quickly. When I am using black, a lot of times, especially if I am stamping, let's say I was going to stamp with these stamps. For me personally, I would use a pigment ink on these stamps because there's a lot of surface area in the stamp, and I want that to be really good, solid, thick coverage on that letter. Some people like to have a little bit of transparent, like the paper underneath showing through in their letter. So that's an example of a word that I had stamped using a pigment ink. So super, super dark and nothing showing through. Almost looked like a sticker, right? So that's really all I'm going to talk about when it comes to the difference between a pigment or an oxide and a dye or a regular, like the ink here. So I have included in the description of the video, almost all the way towards the bottom, a couple of links to articles on scrapbook.com. One of the articles talks about the difference between the inks and the oxides, the distress inks and oxides, and how you might use one or another. It's a wonderful article with lots of photos, so you can kind of see what the difference is. There's another article that I've linked to that talks about kind of when the different types of inks that are out there and why you might use one in a certain situation and another in another situation. Someone just said yes, that they forgot that I know, look it, I've ordered so many stamps from Carrie lately that so many I have to use. Terry W. said, will you tell us about that particular date stamp, please and thank you? I sure will. This is one of the, I like roller stamps. I have a ton of roller stamps and I use a lot of roller stamps in my list just because they're compact, especially if I'm traveling. A date stamp is one thing. So, but when we pull out something like this, these are just phrases or sentiments. And when it comes to those, these are fun because I can take just one of these or have one of these with me and have 12 different options versus having, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 different stamp sets with me. So this one is called, on my website, it's called the Roller Date Stamp. And it has, the way that it's configured, it will never hit a date that won't work because there's a 2-digit year and you have the digits for both in both places. So you don't have like a full year that says 2021. One of the things I love about this stamp is that in between each of the 2-digit day, 2-digit month, 2-digit year, you have little spots for little characters. So the one that I just stamped, let's stamp with black because it'll just be easier to see. So the one that I just stamped had, well, it's a little bit blurry, but has hearts in between. And then I can advance that, and there's like a little double arrow in between. So, or triple arrow. I can advance, let's see, one has the dashes in between. So it just kind of gives you a little bit of an option on the little characters that are in between. So there's little asterisks. There's one that has a dot, a dash, a little squiggly line in between. So there's the dot. Ooh, that dot I don't ever use, I think. The dash I can tell I've never used. So there's the dash. Let's do a squiggle and that vertical line. And then there'll be one more. I always encourage you, well, that's totally blurry. There's a vertical line, there's the squiggle. And then the last one, oh, two more. There's a star and oh my gosh, there's lots more. Okay. Star and diamond. Anyhow, I always encourage you to date your lists because I think that's important. So there's your little star and your diamond. And then there's one more arrow. I always encourage you to date your list because I think that's important. There's a little arrow. I think it's really important to date your list. Denise, I do use the heart most often just because it's usually there. But I always encourage you to date your list because I think that's important. You know, if you are like the next list that we're doing, well, not the next list, the last list that we're doing, good habits. And bad habits. I think that's a list that would be good to do, you know, every couple of years because you see things change. So I always just try to get in the habit of dating all my lists. All right, let me see because I think I've missed lots and lots and lots of comments. S. Jameson, stamping onto a baby wipe works really well for cleaning the oxide ink off of your stamp. Perfect. So oxide, pigment ink. That's like a more permanent ink. So it would definitely come clean a lot better than just the paper that I'm doing. Let's see. Don't use alcohol ink to color on the stamping. Okay, alcohol inks, and Kristen, that's where you now just have totally taken me into a whole other world, a whole other sandbox that I don't play in. Just because I know nothing about it. I know nothing about alcohol inks. But yeah, there's lots of different types of inks. And if you want to experiment, you can always experiment. There's a ton of people that are really, really, really experts. Tim Holtz being one. Let's see. Better chance distress oxide won't bleed through. So actually, Debbie, I think the distress oxide would bleed through because like this is where I had used, I had used pigment and the oxide is a pigment. So I had used the pigment there. And this is really thin paper, but definitely bleeds through. So I don't know. Let's see. I know, Kylie, you will never see me on the dark, dirty side. I know Vicky has tried for so many years. I know. The jumbo roller stamp that I sometimes use. Okay, Shakira, I'll just pull that out. And now it's like Q&A. I mean, we'll continue in the second list in a sec. Shakira is referring to this one. All right, just for scale, this is a jumbo and this is a regular size, right? Isn't that crazy? So this one is made by Studio Calico, studiocalico.com. They do 3 of these. So this is a jumbo date stamp, and I'll just really quick, I'll just stamp so you can see the difference. This I use sometimes on my list to date. All right. I'm not worried about what the date says, but okay. So giant, right? Look how much bigger that is. So they have 3. They have the date stamp that comes in 2 fonts. One is very plain like this, and one is a little bit more whimsical. And then they also have a time stamp that's kind of fun to use too. So the only, well, kind of one of the disadvantages about something like this, besides the size, I would never travel with this, but it has the 4-digit year. And the 4-digit year goes to, I don't know, let's see, 2026, another disadvantage, they're a little bit harder to roll. 2026, so it was 2015 to 2026. So eventually this will kind of become outdated. Outdated. All right, so let's see. Libby, yes, just email me and say, so Libby said I just bought after I submitted another order today. Email me about shipping. Yeah, just let me know and I'll combine the 2 orders. And then when it's ready to ship, we'll just refund the difference in the shipping. Black ink pad off your page. Yeah, right? You know what? Because you guys have seen me make a mistake, right? Well, and I accidentally get ink everywhere. Let's see. You need a separate craft room. Yeah, I know, right? You do kind of need a separate craft room. Use gloves. I know, and then I'd be a mess. All right, so another thing that's a good idea after you're done stamping would be to get out a baby wipe and just check your hands. And I will do that right now because even if it looks like you don't have any ink on there, sometimes your little fingerprints might have a little bit of ink and you may not notice them, especially if you need readers and you don't have your readers on. But let me tell you, your white pages, totally notice them. Even if it's, even if it was like that light blue, totally notice them. So I just keep baby wipes in my craft room, in my stamping drawer, just so I have them handy. Okay, now, actually, we're going to do more stamping for our second list. Our second list is spring cleaning. It's a spring cleaning list, so it's kind of a to-do list, right? Melissa, really quick. Melissa said, I just placed an order yesterday. Is it too late to add the small metal ruler? Melissa, as long as you haven't received the shipping confirmation email with the tracking number, it's not too late. So just shoot me an email. And if you have your order number, that's great. If not, I can look it up by your email address and just say, hey, please add the metal ruler to your order. You guys can always have me add something to your order as long as you haven't received the shipping confirmation. If you receive the shipping confirmation, that means it's all packed up and it could already be at the post office. Okay. Really quick, before we move on to the next one, I have to tell you guys, last week I had, seriously, Nick, that's funny, Nick, I'm packing an order for Shakira right now. That's hilarious. Let's see. What was I going to say? Oh, I know. I had so much fun last week. I was reading some of the comments, not the chat, but some of the comments about favorite songs. And that was, I think it's just so neat. I love music, and it was really neat to hear people's different songs, and some of them I looked up. But I was talking about one of my favorite songs that I added to Songs That Make Me Happy list. In fact, I think, oh no, that was cartoons. Where did that one go? Songs That Make Me Happy. Why isn't it here? I don't know. Anyhow, my Songs That Make Me Happy list. One of the songs, and I was doubting you guys, but you guys were right. I should have known. Oh yeah, Songs That Make Me Smile. Here we go. And I didn't know it was Somewhere Over the Rainbow. I was talking about the, like Hawaiian song, and the guy is Hawaiian or Pacific Islander, and he plays the ukulele, and you guys are like, it is Somewhere Over the Rainbow. And I'm like, no, it's not. I know it's not. It was Somewhere Over the Rainbow. So I have listened to that song many times this past week. And if you don't know that song, Google it. Go to YouTube and find it. Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and it is by Israel, or he goes by I-Z, anyhow, there's a lot of vowels that I can't pronounce. So, but it just makes me happy. So, I love that you guys were like, no, that's who it is. That's who it is. That's who it is. And I'm like, no, it's not. Yeah, you were right. I should have known. It's like Nick. He was right. I should have known. All right. List number 2. List number 2 is spring cleaning. So a lot of times my lists are fun like this. And sometimes they are functional, but your list can be fun and functional, right? It can do two things. So I'm going to do a list about spring cleaning. Now, I like to spring clean because over here we talked about it just kind of makes me, it's like a rebirth. I like to do it. So I'm going to make a spring cleaning to-do list, and it's going to be fun because I'm going to use, fun things. On my spring cleaning to-do list, something like this. If every year you do spring cleaning, this is a great list to do because when it comes next year and you're like, oh yeah, what do I normally do when I spring clean? Well, you can go back to your list and you have your reference. We talk about doing a Christmas card list, or maybe you make a special holiday dinner every year, and that would be a fun list to do because then every year you go back and you look at that list and you're like, oh yeah, I remember those. I forgot that we do the cranberries, but we need to get the cranberries. You can even have like a holiday shopping list. Anytime you're doing something more than once, right? You could make your list and make it cute. Then you can go back and reference it. Meal planning, maybe you have like 50 favorite things that you make and you like to rotate them. So do a meal planning list. So when you're sitting there scratching your head going, oh my gosh, what should we have for dinner this week? You go back to that list. And in fact, I think that needs to be one of our lists in the future. All right. Okay. Dino 914. I think you just hit the nail on the head about that song, because it's a mix of Somewhere Over the Rainbow and Wonderful World. And I think that is why it's hard to, I think that's why I'm like, no, it's not Somewhere Over the Rainbow, because it is. It's like a mashup of both songs. Karen, you feel like your craft has to be spring cleaned every day. You guys, last week, my craft room was a giant mess when we were done, a giant mess. And I went into the Facebook group, the Lail by Mail Facebook group, and I did a video and I showed you what it looked like. When do you think I cleaned that up this past week? Do you think I cleaned it up on Sunday? Or do you think I cleaned it up yesterday, late afternoon, when I had to get ready for this? Which of those two do you think? I bet you know. All right, so spring cleaning. I mentioned that this was also going to be a 2-page list because my thought is I'm using these butterfly stamps. Now, I've had these butterfly stamps for a while in my store, and I have never used them. And I thought I need to use these because that's also part of why I pulled out the inks. These stamps are really cool because they're layering stamps, meaning that the stamps are designed to be used together. There's layer 1 and layer 2. So that's what we're going to be playing with a little bit over here. What I was going to just show you something. You could kind of see on one of, as I was playing, here. So this will kind of give you a little bit of an idea. I just started playing around a little bit. But 2 different stamps, you stamp one color first and then with layer 1, and then you stamp the other color next with layer 2, which I think could be a lot of fun. So that's what we're going to do. All right, so this was another thought that I had. I thought that what I might do was try to, before when we were talking about having this extra, I don't know if this is going to work or not, so I'm not really sure. We're going to kind of play a little bit here. But I don't want to use this. I need a different, I know I don't want to use that one. Oh, maybe. Let's see. For our next list, I'm going to use Garden Party. But I think I want to use some Maggie Holmes because I think that her style and aesthetic would work well with those stamps. So I think we'll wait for Garden Party. They are Bo Bunny. Yes, Josephine Designs. And those I also have linked. I have them linked in the description of the video. I have those on my website as well. Oh, I'm a sucker for the lemons. That was funny. I didn't mean to do that. A sucker for the lemons. I really didn't mean to do that. That was not meant to be a pun. A pun? Yeah. All right, so what I thought I was going to do, and I'm not sure it'll work, so we're just gonna have to see if it will. Just pulling all the things out here. I need some paper. So we're going to go to Marigold, the Marigold Paper Pad. And let's see what that's pretty. I must have flowers always and always. Let's see what we have that would be a nice little background to go with the butterflies. Okay, not Marigold. Let's go to some of our other Maggie Holmes pads because I have a lot, because I like them. I love her style. All right, so that could work, but oh, maybe. It's yellow, of course. You know me and my yellow. That could be a pretty one with some of the pinks. Ooh, that could be a pretty one with maybe some of the pinks and the blues for the butterflies. Choices, choices, decisions, decisions, right? All right. Maybe. We'll put that one off to the side. I'm Heather. I don't like butterflies at all. And you know what's funny? I know some people don't. Some people really don't like butterflies. I mean, they're really like flying bugs when you think about it, right? I get it. I totally get it. Like, so you probably really wouldn't like that paper, right, Heather? Michelle, trying to get, how many lists were last week? Oh my goodness, friend. I would have to go look. Shoot me an email and I will tell you. There was a lot last week, right? There was a lot last week. All right. So Lil, we just need to make a decision here. We don't need to look at all the things. Oh, look at, there's the lemons again. But I used the lemons last time. So those won't work because I need a full piece. All right. I've kind of liked that. Where did it go? That yellow, was it in this one? No, this one. Oh yes, because it's right there. All right, let's try that. And we'll pull this one out too, just in case. All right, and I'll tell you what my thought process is. I'm thinking that normally, like we did here, normally when we create a piece of paper for the base, we have this cut off. So I was thinking that maybe if we did that here and then put the extra cutoff part here and then did the butterflies here down this side. So I'm not sure if that's going to work. I'm just not sure, but I do know if I used this, then the lemons could work. Because that's kind of spring cleany, right? Spring cleany. And then we can do some butterflies. Let's do it. All right. So let's, a lemon fresh scent. Let's get this going. We'll cut off that little top part. And that was 8, so it's a quarter. And my insert's 5 inches wide. So let's start out at, I think we're gonna do that. Oh, does that give me enough? Maybe if we do 4. I don't know. We're cutting it, so let's see what happens. Flying worms. That's funny. That is funny. Flying worms. So, okay. So here's the deal. What if we do that, and then there's just kind of nothing over here? Sure. Let's try it. Why not? It'll be a little bit different than we normally do. Than I normally do, because sometimes I get in a rut. And there's nothing wrong with a rut, but sometimes we get in a rut. So let's just try something a little bit different. All right, so this is going on the right side, and my list will be over here. But I am going to turn this over, and I am going to close the page, because that will hopefully make sure that I get pretty close to the center. And then this one will go right here. If you're doing this, before you adhere. Just double check and make sure that you haven't accidentally turned that over. Oh, look it. Wow. It lines up. Oh, yeah, it does. Interesting. Normally a pattern doesn't line up, right? The right way. But either it lines up correctly either way. All right. So I just want to make sure it was oriented the proper way before I adhere that. I try to get as close to the edge without going over. And then sometimes we go over. Seed packet. You know, I love yellow, and I don't know why. Maybe it's because I can never wear yellow. Any kind of yellow. Sometimes blondes have a hard time wearing yellow, and I have a hard time wearing yellow. Just hair color, skin tone, it just does not work on me. But if I see you see like a brunette with a beautiful yellow on, it's like, oh my gosh, I wish I could wear yellow. So I just use it. All right, there we go. So my list will be over here, and then my butterfly is over here. Here's something that I'm going to need to pay attention to when I get to, oh, you know what? When I get to my list right here. My list that I do right here, I am going to have to create off to the side and then adhere it here because all the ink will most likely shadow and kind of bleed through over here. All right, I'm gonna have to add a little bit more adhesive to that little part that flipped up. Now, this guy, I think, will be able to work here. That will be cute. All right, so now I need my list. Now, instead of measuring, we're just going to pencil it. And I will not, I don't think. Now, if I need to change my mind, I can just get another piece of paper out. But I don't think I will also have the list part go over here because then that would be weird, like writing in between. But we may decide it looks kind of funny, so we'll see. We shall see. Oh, decorating with mustard yellow. Yeah. I have a lot of navy and a lot of gray. And every time I try to throw in mustard yellow in my decorating, I think I can do it. And then it just can't do it. I bought a really neat pillow from Target the other day that is a mustard yellow. And I thought, oh, this will be great. And I brought it home and I'm like, nope, not gonna work. I just can't do it. I can't do it. All right. So it's going to be a skinny list. I'm not sure, you guys. This one will be interesting. Okay. It'll be interesting. Because it'll be so different than what I normally do. But it's good to get outside of our comfort zone, right? All right. I have a little bit of pencil here that we should get rid of. All right. National Scrapbook Day, Zoom. Debbie, it's not National Scrapbook Day. I'm confused. Karen, you never wear yellow. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, Michelle, you can totally wear yellow. All right, so then my butterflies will kind of be over here like that. And I think, you know what's going to happen? I think that my butterflies are all going to be yellow and black. Oh, I don't know though, maybe, because look at, if I use this, there's some pink in there. So maybe I'll do yellow and black and yellow and pink. We'll just see how that works because this will go there too. I'm not sure. Okay, that's gonna have to wait. But here's a little trick. If you are working with stickers that are on a clear backing like this, a lot of times what I will do is cut that sticker away from the sticker sheet while it still has the backing on it, because then I can really move it around as I'm working and decide where I want it. It's a little bit easier to move it around that way because it's not sticky. All right. So I have a plan B just in case this doesn't work. My plan right now is to stamp those right here directly on the insert. And if that doesn't work, then I'll just put a piece of white paper and do it over. Okay, so with these stamps, there are 2 different layer stamps. And when I say 2 different ones, that is a set 2 layers, and that is a different one, 2 layers. So I think I will start with the small set first. The small set is what I had out on one. So they're labeled layer 1, layer 2. I want to use my lighter color for this one because that is solid. The yellow is the layer 1, and so I used the layer 1 as the lighter color, obviously, because if I had used a dark as the layer 1, then you really wouldn't see any of the yellow. So let's pull this guy off. And put that on. You can tell I used that a little bit. All right, the oxide. Ooh, yeah, let's move this out of the way because I almost fumbled that. And it's just like if you make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and you fumble it and it lands on the ground. We always know what side is going to land face down, right? It's always the side that has the peanut butter on it. Never lands face up. And likewise, if I had dropped that stamp or the ink pad, it would have landed face down. All right, so I'm just going to test that again. And I'm using the oxide. The oxide is going to be nice and juicy and give me full coverage, which is what I want. Okay, so one really quick thing I need to look at before I do that is I need to kind of figure out the spacing here because, where'd the ruler go? Josephine said is I could stamp a butterfly on a piece of paper and pop it up on the dimensional foam on the little white strip. So I could absolutely do that, Josephine. And if I was working in a mini book or on a scrapbook page, I would totally do that because I use foam adhesive, dimensional adhesive, pop dots all of the time because I love that dimensional layering look. I would not do that in my traveler's notebook. The reason I wouldn't do that in my traveler's notebook is that would give a lot of extra dimension that would start to make it a little bit harder to work with on the pages that I work with down the road in the insert. So let's see, that is about 1 1/4. So let's just see. 1 1/4, because if I don't do this, we know what's going to happen. I'm going to end up with a bunch of space down at the bottom. Oh, although I'm just going to wing it because I would like to put some washi on here, I think. I think I need some washi. Okay, we're just going to go. We're going to wing it. And it will probably wing the wrong way, and I'll be like, gosh, I should have just kept going. Oh, here it is. All right, my yellows are a little bit different, but that's okay because it will tone down a lot when I do the black on top of it. All right, we're going in. Now, do I want them? Maybe we'll just do that at an angle. That's kind of scary because I usually don't do things on angles, but I'm doing it on an angle. I'm doing it on an angle. You know what, Pam? You're told you should not wear yellow, but you know what? If you like yellow, then we should do what we want, right? We should do what we want. That's like when they say you shouldn't wear, white pants before Labor Day or white shoes, which I don't even think that's a thing anymore, to not do it because I do it whenever I want. But if it makes you happy, then you should do it, right? All right, so we'll just get that a little bit clean. And now let's do number 2. This is the layer number 2. Oh my gosh, my stomach, you guys couldn't hear that. But boy, did my stomach just like gurgle, like I think it's hungry maybe. All right, so let's do, okay, so think I did this before. When I tested it, did I use, yep, I put the black on top of it. Nancy, your cat wants attention. That's funny. All right, now, because I'm not the master stamper and because I just am a hack when it comes to these things. I think it's okay. I've given it enough time, I think, we'll see, for that to dry, the bottom one to dry. No, we're experimenting here, friends. And this will just go right over the top. Oopsie, I rocked it a little bit. Hopefully that was okay. It lifted a little bit. Black or brown? I'm using black. I am using black. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Jaradell. All right, let's see. Let's see. Ta-da! That is fun. I love that. So there are different ways that you could achieve that, right? If you did not have two different colors of ink, you could stamp this in black, and then, so I could do this. Oh, I kind of have it here. Let me put the lid on and I'll just show you. This was as I was cleaning it off, but, so there's my black, and then I could either get out watercolors, or I could get out markers, or I could get out colored pencils, and I could just color that in. So, whatever you have. I mean, it'd take a little bit longer to color that in, but I could just go in and color that in. But definitely so much easier with a layered stamp. And most of the stamps that I use, so I could just go in, and actually you could, if you wanted to do this, it could be kind of fun because you could use different colors and have it be more of a rainbow looking butterfly, or, so doing that with either a marker or a colored pencil. Most of the stamps I use are not icons, right? Like butterflies. Most of the stamps that I use are alphas and numbers, just because that's my style. That's what I like. But I think if you start looking at different stamps, you see this kind of layering idea. You see it a lot in flowers. So, and I don't have any layered flowered stamps, but a layered flowered stamp would be, see how in this one you have kind of the light yellow and the dark yellow? That would just be two different flower stamps, layer 1, layer 2, and we'd get the same effect. In this case, though, we'd just be using two different shades of yellow, or two different shades of, brown or whatever. But always in that case, you would stamp the lighter color first. All right, so there we go. Now, the question is, now do we bring in one of the other ones? We probably better put this back on the sheet, or... Okay, so that is a small, this is a larger one. So that is that guy that I stamped earlier. And I did it with, see, I think I know myself. I know myself very well. I will have to do one of them black, one of the layers black. So this is layer 1, and that is layer, let's see. That one's layer 2. This is layer 1. So I think I will do, what if we do to really mix it up, maybe if I do this layer in the pink. Yeah, I'll try that. We'll make this, no. Let's do this one in the pink. It's really, no, oh my gosh, Lil, make up your mind. All right, this one will be the pink. This one is layer 2. All right, so that's a big one. That will go right there. So now I have, both of these are distressed ink, so they're not the oxides. Let me just look in my little drawer of goodies here to see if I have hang on, now my many drawers of goodies, to see if I have a pink that is an oxide. It won't matter, but I'm just going to see. I think I have, I know I have all blacks, and I could just, I know I have all inks and not oxides, the way that I could know, sorry, my back's turned to you. The way that I could visually, I just was able to look at probably 12 different inks, and I knew that they were all inks and not oxides because you notice the difference. Inks are black, oxides are gray. So that's always an easy way to tell the difference. So I do not have an oxide in a pink, but that's okay. So I'll just try to get this one really, really juicy and we'll see what happens. Well, not really juicy because it, make sure there's no yellow on that anymore or else I'm gonna end up with orange. Girardel, it is, I think it's called Flutter Butterflies. It is linked in the description of the video. It's one that I carry on my website. Now, I will tell you guys, I've never played with layered stamps before. Now it makes me want to get, dry that off. It makes me want to play around now with like a layered flower because I think that could be really fun. Donna, you know what? It's all play, right? We're just playing. So we've got to, at least for me, and it's scary. I get scared to play because I don't want to mess anything up. But this is what I did this morning. I kind of played around a little bit on scratch paper so I knew what I was doing. Well, not necessarily that I knew what I was doing, but so I knew what I was going to get when I did it. Let's see. Create and play with Renee. Renee, assuming your name is Renee, it is a standard wide. So the inserts I use are standard wide. Fits a standard traveler's notebook. All right, so let's just see here. This is one of the new colors from Tim Holtz. Flamingo, or Kitsch Flamingo. Kitsch Flamingo. So, I don't know. Let's see. Where's my little, where is my little lemon that I cut out that I wanted to use? Oh, here. So the pink, yeah, let's try Worn Flamingo. I mean, sorry, not Worn Flamingo, Worn Lipstick, Worn Flamingo. That sounds sad, Worn Flamingo, Worn Lipstick. Let's see what kind of pink this gives me instead. And it's just playing, right? That's part of, I think, why I like doing listing the way that we do it is that, you know, if you're a scrapbooker or maybe you are an art journaler or maybe you work in mini books or whatever your format is, I think it's a little bit less intimidating to play when you're playing on a list than it is on maybe a scrapbook page or a mini book or something like that. That's going to be way too dark. You know what's going to happen? I already know. I'm not going to go with any pink because I would want something that's really, really light. Yeah, pretty, but too dark. So we're just going to go with the yellow. We'll just do the yellow. I don't think I'll bring any blue in just because I won't bring any blue in. Unless, if I used blue for the title, my spring cleaning, maybe we should try that, right? We're just playing. We're just playing. This will be a long, well, it won't be a long list. It'll just take a while, right? Tumbled glass. Let's look at tumbled glass. I think we did speckled egg before. Because what I'm thinking is then I could use maybe use a, like this color, pastel color for the title for spring cleaning. Oh, okay. Look at that. So you can kind of, now granted, I'm working on really, really, really thin paper here, but you can kind of see the difference in coverage. I don't know if you'll be able to see that too well. The difference in coverage between the oxide and the ink. So both of these were ink and this is an oxide. The oxide is just a lot juicier, which I think, for me, I think I'm probably more of an oxide person than an ink person as I play. All right, so let's now go here Different angle. Kitchen flamingo, I know, right? Oh, Pam. So one of Pam's dream jobs would be coming up with names for colors. Like OPI nail polish. They have such clever names for fingernail polish, right? Love that. All right. So what's nice too, I think anytime that well, I shouldn't say this. I should say, depending on the layering stamp that you're using, in some cases they could be a standalone, right? So that could definitely be a standalone. I can put the black over it, but I don't have to. In this case, this stamp that was the first layer that we used there for the yellow, I mean, you could use it as a standalone, but it's just kind of plain. So, all right, where's our other one? This part, okay, so if you guys know my friend Vicki Booten, she is an amazing mixed media artist, amazing. And she does all the things and gets it all dirty with her hands and the paints, and it all just scares me. But when I do things like this, it makes me feel like now I'm like, oh yeah, I'm kind of like Vicki, but not at all. Not at all. But it's fun, right? It's fun to play. It is fun to play, and it's fun to not worry about really messing up. You could do greeting cards, right? You could do stamps like this and kind of learn and play and do a greeting card. It's just paper, right? It's just paper, so. All right. Always put the lid back on or else we could have a problem. We could have a problem. All right, so now this guy, this is layer 2 or layer 1. I don't know whichever one it was, but. Okay, here we go. You don't know Jacques. So Renee, I don't know if I haven't heard about PlannerCon in the future. And Michelle may know. Michelle and I have both taught at PlannerCon in the past. I haven't heard anything though. In fact, I looked maybe a week or two ago and I hadn't heard. There we go. So that would look totally different now if I reversed those, right? If I did the black first and then did the blue, it would just look totally different. So you can kind of mix those up a bit. Do I have a large collection of inks? Kathy, I don't know what's large. I have a large collection of washi, I know that. I have a large collection of stamps, I know that. Oh, good, Joy Ellen. Will be in July. So, and I assume San Francisco again, yeah? Haven't heard. Anything for National Scrapbook Day? Kathy, of course I am. All right, so let's go to the next one and figure out now what we're going to do here. Because you know what? I don't have any other, oh, actually that's a lie. Let me look. I have other oxides, but, let me look. Let me grab them from across the room. But the colors I don't think will go. All of these, I don't carry any of these. I just get these on scrapbook.com, so I've linked to them. This is the order that I placed, I don't know, 3 months ago maybe, and literally they're still in the package. So, oxide. And remember, I can tell because, well, it says ink or oxide, but the easy tell is black or green. You know what's so funny, you guys? I didn't even realize when I bought these, I didn't even realize that I was buying oxides on some of them and inks on some of them. That was not on purpose. So, I mean, I have other colors, but I think I'm just gonna, I'm already way outside of my comfort zone. I'm way outside of the box I live in. So I think I'm just going to use those two. I'll just kind of keep repeating there. So let's do that. All right, move these off to the side and hope that they don't fall down and crash. But I do now know that I need some more oxides. I need some more colors in oxides. Wanda, the oxide is wetter. The oxide is a pigment ink, and so it's wetter and more opaque and gives you more, like to me, it just gives you a little bit more coverage. All right, so now we're back to these two. It's funny, I think I know ahead of time what I'm going to do, and I think I know products that I'm going to use, and then sometimes I start working on a list, I'm like, oh yeah, and it goes a totally different direction, which I think this list is going in a totally different direction than I had originally thought. But that's okay. All right, so now I guess we'll just do the same thing again because it worked before. Yellow. Sponge sugar oxide. Ooh, Don G. Okay, sponge sugar. Is that like a really light pink? I will have to give you, I'll have to look for that one for sure. Yes, Helene, oxide, more color and more opacity for sure. Pigment ink is generally, and that's like that black one I use. You'll see me go back and forth. Here's something that I've learned just, as we learn things. I've learned that if you are using smaller stamps, especially like alpha stamps that are maybe really skinny, your ink is better for sure than your oxide. Or your pigment is better than your dye because it's just too juicy. If you have a really fine stamp, and we kind of saw that when I was stamping these guys, I was using the pigment ink, and the letters sometimes got a little blurry. That's because I was using the pigment ink, which is juicier than the dye ink. All right, there we go. Shakira, here, this is like the easiest thing for me because like I said, I'm just learning. Oxide, super juicy. Opaque, so gives you really good coverage. Ink, not as juicy. And sometimes you'll get a little bit more see-through. I think what would really help, follow the link that I included in the bottom of the description of the video, where it's an article about the difference between a distress oxide and a distress ink. That will, it's super, super helpful. Super helpful. There's also photos, examples, like where there's two different inks that they've used. Sorry, two different inks. One would be the oxide and one would be the ink. And then you can really see the difference. Especially what it talked about is sometimes it's harder to see if you're working on white, but if you're working on a darker base, like maybe craft or like a dark blue or a dark black or something, a dark black. Black would be really hard to see. But maybe like a craft color, you can really kind of see the difference. So that was really helpful as I was kind of learning. And here's the thing, it really doesn't matter. You really don't have to get it. Really, you just have to figure out, what do you like? Do you like things to be, look really, what's the word I'm looking for? Solid, which I like. So here you really don't see any of the paper through. If you like things solid, then you probably like a distress ink, an oxide versus the ink. And those are just Ranger or Tim Holtz's names, oxide versus ink, distress oxide, distress ink. But generally, the difference is a dye ink or a pigment ink. So pigment ink is an equivalent to an oxide. So yeah, just a matter of figuring out what you like. That's, if I know I like a certain kind of food, I don't really care. It doesn't really matter how it's made. I just know that I like it, and I know that that's what I want to order next time I go out. So Cheryl, if you're only going to get one set, so that's a really, really good question. It depends. Jessie, that's funny. Yeah, or Jess, yeah, we're live. So it depends. The question was, if I was only going to get one set, which would I get? Depends on what kind of stamping you're doing, I think, Cheryl, what kind of stamps that you have. If you are doing mostly alphas And actually, I'm going to say this is me. This is my opinion, right? And I'm just a person. I don't, I'm not the expert. But if I was just, oh gosh, put that away. If I was just doing alphas, so like when I used these little alphas, a dye ink was way, 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 way better because the pigment ink or the oxide too juicy. It put too much ink for me on the stamp, and so you didn't have the nice thinness of the letters. Even something like this, if you're using an alpha stamp, that's probably small enough that you could go with either one. I think it just depends on what it is you're doing, what stamps that you're using, and kind of the effect that you want. I would, though, for sure recommend. There's two articles that I've linked in the description. One is distress oxides versus distress inks, and then the other one is like just a general on inks, on what different types of inks there are and when you might use one or the other. But it's all, to me, it's all a learning process. And I am definitely just in the early stages of that learning process because I don't generally do things like this. You guys know I use alphas and mostly I use black, and every once in a while I use a color, but not very often. I think what I might try, I'm going to reverse these two. I am going to do actually, I think I want to do the light color first. So I'm going to do, before I had used this layer as the black, and I want to use this layer as the blue. So, but before I do this, I feel like I just need to try this just to make sure that it's going to be okay. Let's see. I won't like get it really juiced up, but I just want to make sure it's going to be okay. I didn't clean it either. Oh, it's okay though. I need a clean sheet. I need a clean sheet. Well, this will kind of be clean. It was too hard to see. All right. So I'm reversing. I want to see what happens if I reverse, but I feel like I need to look at it first because what if I don't like it? All right, so there's the light as the first layer, and then let's go with this one. Yes, the links are in the description. Yeah, they're in the description of the video, and the links to the two articles are at the very bottom. They're easy to find that way. They're at the very bottom. And here's the thing. I mean, you guys, in the world that we live in today, there's so much information out there. If you're not sure what the difference is between A and B, then go Google what's the difference between A and B, and you'll find it. A lot of times you'll find a video that will show you the difference between A and B. All right, so this is going on top. Just make sure that I like that book since I'm going to do it reverse. Oh my gosh, look at that. Okay, so I already know I way prefer that to that, right? This is way better than that one. And just plain, so that's what I'm going to do, except I need to swap them out again. I need to do light first, and then we'll come in with dark. Yeah. But now I know, right? We play. It's all about playing. That's what Vicky would tell me. Just play. And I'm like, no, I can't. Just do it. Just play. One of the things I do need to do, I need to do this with my colored pencils too. I need to swatch. I really need to swatch my inks so that I know what I have. Kathy, so someone had said, I don't know, someone had said earlier oh gosh, what was it? I don't remember now. That maybe sounded like a light pink. All right. Okay, now we'll put that away and we will let's see, while we're letting that dry a minute. So that's the one thing that you need to remember with the pigment inks. So with the oxides or any pigment ink, is that because they're juicy, they take a little bit longer to dry. Which is good, because then maybe that would be your cleanup time in between. Because lots of times, I skip that part. Because that's not the fun part, right? Eventually it has to be cleaned up. And if you're like me, it may be getting cleaned up the very last possible minute, because you need to get ready for the next one. All right, so the black, yes. Clean off the fingers, because as I was cleaning that, just make sure I don't have any ink on me. Yeah, so Diane was talking about the daubers and blending tools, which is, it takes you into a whole other, oh my gosh, a whole other realm. Let's see. Oh, so this would be a dauber or a blending tool. And let's see, this has, I don't know if it still has brown on it. Okay, so see how that still has some brown ink on it? But a lot of times people will take a little blending tool like that and ink the edges of what they're working on. I mean, you could do this in your traveler's notebooks, in your inserts, but that kind of gives it a totally different, this is like my version of outlining. Well, no, sorry. My outlining is, you know what I mean. I outline, I don't ink the edges. So you can also do really cool things with blending tools like this. And I really don't do it, so I am not good to show you. But you can take different ink colors and take, because this is just a little cap. Hold on. A little Velcro. So that little Velcro guy, you could have basically one of these for, you know, your different blues and your different reds or whatever, or even your individual colors. So this guy would just come off like that, and then you'd put a new one on. So yeah, you can do real, I mean, you guys, there's a whole other world that opens up when it comes to inks. It is like a rabbit hole, right? Going down the rabbit hole. Well, with like all the, you know, all the supplies, all the craft things. It's a whole, you just go down a little rabbit hole. Lots of squirrels today. Yes, I am. Yes, circular motion. I know, right? Because I'm definitely not much of a working with those, with the daubers. So usually with the dauber, that's when I just ink the edges. I need to play with those more, right? So many great things to play with that we just need to play. We just need more hours in the day to play, right? That's the problem. All right, make sure that's the right one, right? It is, okay. This is also the beauty of an acrylic stamp, right? The clear stamps and the clear stamping blocks, because you can see exactly where you want to go. All right, oh yes, that one's so much better. That one is so much better than that one. But that's okay. We just play. We're learning. You got to play. Oh, Don G, you're genius. You could layer a stamped cut-out butterfly like that one and put it right there. I sure could. You would never even know, huh? You would never even know. In fact, well, in a totally different way, but similar. I showed it last week because it was one of the lovely ladies that participates in our little listing sessions. She, hang on. Hold on, I gotta bend down to get this. She, this was the kit I was talking about earlier, but she bought two and then donated one back to be given away last week. But anyhow, talking about when Don G was talking about layering the butterflies. So that's what I did. And if you were doing something like that in a, in a mini book or even a scrapbook page or something, or a card or a tag, what have you, in a base other than in a traveler's notebook, you can get really creative with layering the same thing on top of each other. So there's a butterfly that's part of the paper, and then I fussy cut out another one and layered it on top, and then just used little foam pop dots or foam squares to give it dimension. So that is a great idea though, Donji, to cut that out, because I could totally cut another one out and just put it right over that. All right, well, that was a lot of playing, right? That was a lot of playing for that list. So now we'll do the list. I cleaned that up. Let's get these put away though, because if we don't get them put away, then later we'll be like, what happened to that one butterfly stamp? All right. Off to the side. Get these off to the side. All right, spring cleaning. Okay, I need to come in and outline. So let's do that. I'm gonna see something. I don't know if I will outline on that little trellis part or not. See, this is my version of inking. The outlining. It just helps it to stand out. But not as messy. Easier on the fingertips. All right, so let's see if we stop right there, because I have an option. If I stop right there and I decide I want to continue, oh, I see what I did. I went above there. It's fine. Oh, the glitter. Yeah, that glitter is, the glitter is Stickles glitter glue. So, and something like this, I would never do. I wouldn't in a traveler's notebook, just because it just gets, messy and then bumpy. But glitter glue. So it's like when we were a little kid and you'd play with glitter glue, but that's just comes in a whole bunch of different colors, and it's really fun on butterflies. So if we did, I could come in here. This one's like my favorite one. This one is called Platinum, but it just gives a totally different, well, not even different, but it just kind of adds a whole other dimension, right? Let's see if you can see that. It does. It takes long to dry. Well, yeah, because it's liquid. But usually when I'm doing something like with that, I just put it off to the side and then come back to it later. So yeah, that's really fun. Glitter glue. Glitter glue stickles. All right, yeah, now let's move this, because if we don't move that, we know what's going to happen. I'll inadvertently end up with glitter where I didn't want it to be. Okay, now back to our list. So we think that we like this. Oh, yeah. I don't think that guy's going to work anymore. Maybe, we'll see, but there's a lot of different colors going on between the blue and the green, and so now we need something to piece it together. So that's where we need an alpha. I wanted, we'll see. I had pulled these out because I thought this big plans would kind of be fun. We'll see if it ends up, because it really needs to be like over to here. So maybe that'll work there. We'll see. And this is a little bit thicker, but it'll be great. All right, title, spring cleaning. So I need, I don't want to do any more stamping. Just normally what I would probably do, I would probably stamp part of that title, but I don't want to do that now because it'll just take us, it just takes a while. So let's look for some stickers. Maybe, oh, actually, we're just thinking, I think maybe one of these, one of the big stack there. I was thinking blue before, but, yeah, see, let's see. That blue is not right. Okay, no, those won't work. Those are just too bright. All right, so off those go. Let's see if we can maybe find a blue. I don't know. Now, I probably wish that I had used like green or something there, but that's okay. Or pink, right? Pink could work. Maybe let's look for pink. We're back to this again. This is where I keep all of my Oh, I know it's about cleaning, right? Guess what? Dawn, I didn't, sorry. Hang on, lemonade time. I didn't smear it on with my finger at all. I just used that little tip, that little applicator, and it'll just dry right like that. So there's a little bit of dimension, but yeah, didn't smear it on with my finger. Okay. Oh, pink. Okay. So here's the thing. If I use this pink, and I use this pink, that's like my very favorite. I use that all the time. From the scrapbook.com sticker book. So let's see if that, and then I'm just thinking about what would go below it. I don't know, you guys. When we do this, when we're all here together, we're just playing. So I actually may end up coming back in. I may end up part of my title stamping, because the main part of the title should be cleaning. Oh, actually, I know I'm going to have an issue. Oh. Okay, I got it. I've got it. Okay, I'm going to make my title along that edge. So I think I'm going to use this stamp set, and this stamp set is called Better Together. So it is the same font. Dawn, that the plastic file box I have linked. It is towards the top of the description of the video. There are, I think, 3 different storage things I've linked. So that one you'll see right there. It says, I think, sticker tablet storage. All right, so this font, again, from Carrie Bradford, because 90% of my stamps are from Carrie, because I just love it, her. Same font, but this is thick, this is thin. So what could be fun is if spring was in the thin and cleaning was in the thick. So it would run along the side, and it would be spring in the thin and then cleaning in the thick. So let's just see, because the first thing I need to see is whether or not it's going to fit. And you know what? I'm spending a lot of time. It's a spring cleaning list, right? It's a spring cleaning list, but for me, it's just the process of playing, right? It's playing and experimenting and learning, and so it's okay if I'm taking an hour and a half. I don't know how long. 12:30. Oh yeah, right. It's yes. All right, we're just gonna keep going. This one always confuses me, friends. Okay. Let's see. So I'm going to kind of have to get these laid out to figure out if it's going to work or not, if I have enough room. Because I think it might be tight. SOP. What I really might have to do is use a really small letter, like maybe this one, and then do cleaning. I'll get spring. I'll just get spring picked out, and then we'll see if it works or not. It's probably the biggest reason now, right here, why I have both alphabet stamps and alphabet stickers, because you never know. You just never know what you need. You also never know how much you have time for, right? Because sometimes if you don't have a lot of time or don't want to spend a lot of time, then you use your sticker. But other times, I mean, stamps are definitely more of an investment than stickers, right? But then you always have them. And you have them in any color that you need, because your ink would be any color that you need. All right, so let's look. Spring. We're not going to know. We're not going to know because it looks like we'd have enough room, but these are much thicker. Oh, Am I frozen? Oh, goodness. Guess what? Isn't that interesting? So, I was frozen. Remember when we started and I'm like, that's plugged in. So that charger, the cord has not been charging. That's interesting. So let's take this other cord from the iPad. Sorry that we kind of jumbled around there. I know I did plug in and I missed Angel time too. I was plugged in. Okay, good. Yep, that's what happens when the battery, there's a little message that popped up and said battery low. All right, so what was I going to do? Well, we'll just put it on top of here just so we can see if it fits or not. Okay, Carmen, it's not working. All right, I'll look after. I don't know why. I'll look after. Cleaning. Sometimes, usually I just copy and paste some links from time to time. But if the links change on the back end to where it's going, then that could be a reason that it wouldn't be working anymore, because I don't, periodically go back and check to make sure that they're still working. So I'll double check that. I should probably double check that on all of the links periodically. CLEANING. All right. Now here's a little issue, but it's not something we can't work around. This is what I was trying to explain last week when I was talking about stamping and not having enough letters. So CLEAN, I need two N's, right? Well, there aren't two N's. So what I do is, I already know that that's where the N go, and that's perfectly spaced. So I can now pick the N up from here. I'll come back in and stamp there after I stamp, and then the N goes there. So now let's just see if this is going to give us enough room. Okay, so if the spring started right here and it went to, okay, that line right there. All right, and then the cleaning. Oh, it works. Yep, barely. Okay, we're good. We are good. Now, I'm just gonna have to pull these off really quick. All right, my G is just a little bit too low. The other thing is, stamping, especially if you're stamping out words, it just takes longer, right? It just takes longer. But it sure is fun. It sure is fun. All right, so what I needed to do very quickly before I stamp here, I needed to turn the page and make sure that any stamping I'm going to do is not going to bleed through. Oh, that just reminded me. Somebody wanted me to show this. So definitely on the back side, there's a lot, definitely bleed through there, right? And that, especially when you're working with black, the inserts that I use, the Carpe Diem inserts, the paper's pretty thick, but when you're using juicy ink, there's pigment ink, there's really no way to get around that I know of. So that's okay. When I go to do this list, I'll just put a piece of paper down. I'll put a piece of paper down like I did there. So Denise, with Carrie's stamps, here's the thing. They sell pretty quickly. And she's, another small business just like me. And so she, only does, she only has things for so long. Really good thing with Carrie is sometimes she will bring certain stamp sets back and, she listens to her customers, right? So if you, SPRNG, okay, everything's straight. If you're interested in something and it's sold out, email her. You never know. If she gets enough people to email her, she may end up bringing them back in. She did that with the Juniper Jumbos for sure. But she always releases new stamps at the beginning of every month. And I receive her emails. I've subscribed to her emails, but I also sorry, I had to think there for a minute. But I also turn on notifications for Carrie, her Instagram page, her Instagram account, so that anytime that she posts on Instagram, I get notified. Because I want to make sure that I always, know when she has new stamps coming out, so that if I want them, I get them. Because sometimes they just sell really fast. Okay, so I had a little bit of an issue there, right? I didn't quite get the coverage, and that's okay because I come in with my little black, oh, let's put the lid on. Come in with my little black pen. And I won't do this to the whole thing right now. I will just kind of show you what I do. I'm just filling in the space, and that's me. I like to have a really solid stamp impression. I don't like, like the R. You can kind of see part of it's missing and part of it's showing through. I don't like that look. Nothing wrong with it. It's just I don't prefer it. I prefer a full, nice, strong impression. So that's usually, if I didn't quite get it, I'll just come in with my black pen and fix it like that. All right. The reason that it did that is because I have a little bit, this is a little bit higher. And so I wasn't quite getting an even space. All right. Now we can get rid of these. And for now, just for sake of time, I'm just going to pop these in the back here. And I will put them away later. All right, hang on one sec. Okay, now we're back to this. Spring cleaning. So now, curious friends. Oh, and I didn't even ask. Usually I ask you guys when we're doing a list. I didn't even ask things you're looking forward to this spring. I think I saw some people chatting about things that you're looking forward to this spring. How about what's on your spring cleaning list? What do you normally do? Like, do you have things that you do every year in the spring? So we'll just kind of get that chat going because I will be talking about that, obviously, in a minute here, about what's on my list. All right, cleaning. Do you spring clean? I mean, maybe that you completely skipped this list because you don't do any spring cleaning, which that's okay. Make sure that's all juicy. It is, and I always test it first, especially since some of those stamps, some of those letters I hadn't been used before, and so it primes them first if you kind of stamp the first time. Oh yes, love, love, love that. That'll be fun because using that same font gives it a lot of continuity. But then, because one is super bold and one is, super thin, really puts the emphasis on cleaning, right? And you can get that same look if you don't have stamps like this that are the same font. You can get that same look just by doing, using two different fonts, but having one be thick and then the other one could be thin. You could do uppercase on one, lowercase on the other. You could do a serif font. So serifs are those little like things that are on the letters, like the little legs. I don't know what those are, the serifs. You could do serif font mixed with a sans serif. So sans meaning without. So this would be like a sans serif font. There's no, well, that's a little bit harder to see. Let's see. Okay, so serif with the little guys, sans serif without the little guys. But you could mix those two fonts or fonts like that. All right, so now I need to, actually, let's do this. Let's clean these first. Oh, the ceiling fans. Oh my gosh, the ceiling fans. I totally forgot that. I need to add that to my list. That's when you're like, oh my gosh, that's gross, right? Because what you see on the ceiling fans, on the blades, you're like, oh goodness. All right, so we'll put these on the back here too. And we just need our little N. Actually, my N, I'm gonna move on to a smaller, oh golly, this is gonna, my N, I'm gonna move on to a smaller block because it's asking for trouble using such a large block for only one letter. All right, so get that all juiced up. Okay. Now, there we go. All right, and I will come back in and just fill in these little letters. Sometimes, if it's a longer word like that, and there's just more surface, ooh, yeah. There's more surface area on the block, and you're trying to get a good even impression. The longer, sometimes the harder it is. All right, so now, yeah, I have things on my fingers, and yeah, well, guess what? It's dirty. And you know what? That's okay because it's spring cleaning. I meant to add all that dirt on there, right? I meant to do that. Okay, so my list. I just feel like this has to be outlined too, so I will do it. You know what? The lemons aren't going to work out, I think. We'll see. They may not work out because we ended up doing this over here. Yeah, the lemons are not going to work because they just don't really go with the butterflies. But I think what will work is this guy. I think the big plans, that will for sure work. So let's go ahead and commit to that. Let's see, it's partly, yep, there we go. Okay. All right, so now I need to do a little bit more stamping, but just a little, because I am going to use some of the little bullet stamps from the Scattered Thoughts stamp set. Let me get this out of here. There's just, no, there's too much, there's too many things. Too much, too much, too much. Too many things. You guys, I forgot to talk about a giveaway. Because you know I like to do my giveaways. Like we always do, I will have you leave a comment, not on the chat, but leave a comment after the fact on the video. Hang on, I'm looking for that. Leave a comment after the fact on the video. Telling me, let's do this one. Telling me one of the things on your spring cleaning list, even if you're not doing a list. Tell me one of the things that you do to clean in the spring. And I will do a, next week, draw a random comment. And I have a fun little prize pack that I put together of bunnies and blooms. So some chipboard, paper pad, and I think there's some die cuts in there too. Some of the ephemera. All right. Where'd my little guy go? It's funny when there's so, oh, here we go. There's so much stuff. All right, so which one of these do we want to use? Not hearts, because, you know, we like to spring clean, but we don't love it. Maybe this little flower bullet. Let's see. So here's a difference. In this case, because that's pretty fine, the lines there are pretty fine. I want to use the dye ink as opposed to the pigment, because the pigment's going to be too juicy and it will blur those really fine lines. Okay, where? We'll just pull this out of the garbage. So, little flower. That little flower is one of the little bullets in in the scattered thoughts. Yeah, I need to not rock that. It really is thin, so I'm just having a hard time holding that piece of paper at the same time. There we go. One of the bullets in the Scattered Thoughts stamp set, and it's a little flower daisy. Okay. Before, though, I get started, I know I want to put something up there, and it will probably be, oh, I don't know. I'm thinking maybe a word strip sticker. Put this back. Word strip sticker. Oh, change the smoke alarm batteries. Okay, hold on. I gotta stop. I have to stop and put these things on my list because smoke alarm batteries and the other one that I saw, oh, ceiling fan blades. All right. So I feel like I need a word strip up here. So back to this. Now we could maybe find a snarky. One of the snarkies, because you never know. All right, snarky and, okay, both of those. Let's see what we find. It seems like I haven't used my word strip stickers in a while. All right, snarky. Can we find something? Now, I think with that, I think I will probably want to do a dark. So let's see. I need a 6-month vacation twice a year. I don't know. Snarky may not work. Yeah. Not my circus, not my monkeys. No. Yeah, I think we'll look for not snarky. We'll look for regular. Let's look for black and see if we can find something there. And so the adventure begins. That would for sure work. Great things take time. Yes, that would work. Start doing things you love. Probably not so much on this list, right? I mean, we like to spring clean, but not really love it. I think let's do one of those. So, let's see. Great things take time. Maybe and so the adventure begins. Let's just see. I think we'll put that right there. So it's a little bit off the side. So the black's a little bit off the side. And now we'll make our list. And now we'll get started. Okay, first one is clean the fridge. And clean the fridge means like completely take all the things out, completely wash down all of the drawers and the shelves and get rid of the almost empty bottles of ketchup or whatever. But yes, totally clean the fridge. The same thing is also the pantry, for the same reason. Let's see, we'll call it purge the pantry. And a lot of times in the pantry, that is, you'll have just a little bit of spaghetti noodle in a package, or, a box of crackers that only has a couple crackers left in it or whatever. So also look for things that are expired. All right. Another one, flip the mattresses. That is always good. It's like rotating your tires, right? Like rotating your tires. It's good to do that so you don't get, bald spots. I don't know, not bald spots in a mattress, but so you don't get the, divots in the mattress. Okay, so let's do that one. Another one is the linen closet. So they start all organized and then things start getting put away and then things come unfolded and then they get shoved in there. And yes, take everything out, shake it all out, refold it, wash it, whatever it needs. But then I like to have things all nice and stacked. Ooh, clean the oven. Yes. Now clean the oven, I'm not going to put on my list because clean the oven, Jack, our older son, that's the chef, was here for 3 months, and the oven was disgusting. Well, not disgusting. He cooks a lot, and so it really needed to be clean. So I think we probably clean the oven maybe a couple times a year. Oh, I don't need that yet. All right. The kitchen drawers. So the kitchen drawers, because sometimes they get all the little crumbs in them and things, and sometimes you find that you have maybe kitchen tools that are, I don't know, like spatulas and things that need to be replaced because they just start to get grody or whatever. So cleaning the kitchen drawers. The baseboards. So baseboards, cleaning, dusting, but then also sometimes even touch-up painting. Almost sometimes touch-up painting because sometimes they need the touch-up paint. Okay. Now I'm going to throw in change the smoke alarm batteries. So smoke detector. And that's not cleaning them, but replacing them, right? So this is kind of spring cleaning, whatever you do on an annual basis. I guess flipping the mattress was also not really spring cleaning, but... and then there's the grody ceiling fan. Dust the ceiling fan. That should really be more than once a year for me, but it's not. Clearly, because I totally even forgot about it. All right, what's next? DTD, so I got baseboards, I got the linen closet. Oh, this just reminded me. I don't know, it's been months ago. Somehow we were talking about, we were talking about a list and someone was talking about some Dawn dish soap that's a spray. Window tracks, Kathy, that is on my list. And you know what's funny? Nick and I were talking about that and I didn't know what to call it. And neither of us knew what to call it. And I wrote down window runners, so window tracks. Anyhow, I'm going to write that down right now. Window tracks. Because those get grody. Anyhow, it's a Dawn dish spray. It's like the scrubbing bubbles stuff that you can like spray in the tub and it does its work. But it's for dishes. Dawn, the spray. Oh my gosh, that is like the bomb. It is amazing. I'm so glad whoever suggested that talked about it once. I happened to see it in the chat because love it. All right. So I think, hold on, Keurig, Keuerig, I think, and the ice machine. Both of those need like totally to be cleaned. The hard water deposits in the coffee maker, all of that. And then the ice machine needs like all the ice needs to come out of it and like totally cleaned because, it just gets grody, right? Just gets grody. The Dawn spray. Yes, the Dawn spray. Oh, I spelled the Keurig wrong. Okay. And now you guys have seen me do this before. It's okay because the way I fix it is with my white gel pen. I just need to remember to come back in after and rewrite the letters. So I just write over the letter with the white. Now, I mean, you can kind of still see it, but when you write over the letter, you really can't tell anymore. So my little white gel pen is just like a magic eraser. which when it comes to spring cleaning, that's usually a good one to get all the scuffs off the wall. All right, so you can kind of see I got rid of those letters, and I'll come back at Dawn Power Wash. Yes, I may need to let that dry and then go over it a little bit more. All right, then, oh, another one, the coat closet. Because, well, we get all 4 seasons. We definitely here in Utah get all 4 seasons. So we have all kinds of coats. You have big parkas for the winter. We have, you know, windbreaker. You have to have a rain jacket that's water. I mean, all kinds of coats. A down vest because sometimes it's cold, but not cold enough for anyhow. But going through the coat closet and kind of thinning things out. All right. So then, is this my last one? Let's see. Let's see, what else do we have, friends? What have I missed? Shredding junk mail. Oh, yeah, we get rid of that all the time. Yes, the Dawn Power Soap. Kathy said she just got it at Costco. And I was just there the other day, and they had a pack that has the sprayer that's full, and then 2 refills that are part of the pack. So that was pretty awesome. Love, love, love that. The asterisk. The asterisk is fun. Actually, it's a little daisy. That was one of the big things. When I worked with Andy to design the Scattered Thought stamp, we worked on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Actually, 8 little different bullets, right? Because that's a bullet. 2 little acorns, and then a heart, and the daisy, and the double outline square, double outline circle, the star, and the asterisk. Just because I'm always for my list looking for, you know, different shapes, different ideas for the little bullets. All right, so then I think my last one is this my list? Oh, the fireplace. Yeah, our fireplace is it's pretend, right? It's a gas fireplace, so no spring cleaning there, but yeah, that's a big one, right? If you have a wood burning fireplace, that is a big one. Terry, I don't know what you're doing, but have you tried to unplug it and let it sit for like a minute and plug it back in and then power it back on? I know sometimes that's kind of, you don't want to hear that, but sometimes that does it. Let's see. I'm trying to see if I missed anything. All right. So the last one, purge office files. Yeah, that's another good one, right? The last one is to change the filters, and there's several. There is furnace filters, the fridge, well, the fridge filters like the water, you know, the water dispenser, and then also the ice machine too has a filter. All right, so there is my list. It is, over here is kind of plain. So I know that I'll end up coming back and doing a little bit more. I don't know what I'll do over here, but I'll do something. I will also come back in and fill in my, you know, my little guys there. Yeah, so that was a long one, you guys. That list took a long time. But it's because we were playing, right? We were playing with stamps and layering, and we talked a lot about different inks. So not, you know, in my head, for me, I don't, you know, normally, all right, let's be honest. I would normally, if I was making a list of spring cleaning, I would never, you know, spend that kind of time on it. I would probably just, you know, write it on a piece of paper, scribble it down, and then check things off when I was done, because that's the fun part, checking it off when you're done. But that's all relaxing for me, right? This is how I relax. I relax by crafting. And so if it takes long, that's more relaxation. Okay, I will never forget. There is I'm just going to put this away real quick. There is there's an event that takes place in a number of different cities across the country called the Pinners Conference. And it is another business owned by a woman, a small-owned business. It's located here in Utah, but they do them all over the country. Maybe 8 or 10 different cities, I'm going to say. But really cool. Anyway, long story short, but I taught I've taught that a number of times and taught Traveler's Notebook classes. And it's more like that Traveler's Notebook class is more like my intro to the very first video I did that talks about this is what it is. These are the different things you can do with it, what you can use it for, examples, things like that. Well, I tell you, I would get so many funny looks from people because these weren't necessarily, these people weren't necessarily crafters. Maybe they were just there to, I don't know. And so at the end, they'd kind of be looking at me like, are you freaking kidding me? And some people would ask, they'd raise their hand, and there'd be, 100 people in the class, they'd raise their hand. Do you really, like, does your to-do list, do you really, like, put all those stickers on it and everything? And I tried explaining that, part of it is form, part of it is the fun, but part of it is function. And some people are like, oh, yeah, I get it. And some people would just shake their head and be like, you're crazy. And then, of course, they'd say, well, I don't know how you have the time to do that. I don't have time to do that. And then I would always just go, oh, yeah, it's not for everyone. But in my head, I'm thinking, well, but do you knit? Because I don't have the time to knit, but you knit. It's just, we're all different in terms of the things that we like to do. Okay. Tracy. I didn't know they dropped Minneapolis. I taught at the one in Minneapolis maybe 2 years ago. All right. So list number 3. All right. This one won't take long. It is a 2-page list. I'm only doing 1 page today. This is a 2-part list, not only a 2-page list, but it's a 2-part list. So these are good habits and bad habits. Good habits and bad habits. So today I'm doing the good habits. Next Saturday, we will do part B, the other side of the list, which will be the bad habits. So with that said, I had mentioned I wanted to use Garden Party. Garden Party is one of the new Maggie Holmes collections that has come out recently. My love for all things Maggie Holmes. So this is just going to go in a pile on the floor. All right, so these are not Garden Party. These little, incidentally, these little things that I use, these little pouches I've talked about them a couple times before and how I organize things in the pouches. When it's a brand new collection, I put everything from the collection in that pouch. So this is all Garden Party. Now, eventually, when I've worked my way through most of Garden Party, then I will take them out of the Garden Party pouch and then move them into, probably just a Maggie Holmes pouch. So all of the similar, all the collections from Maggie Holmes are together. Once I kind of work my way through something. And these I have linked on, these I just get at Amazon, but I linked them in the description of the video as well. All right, so we already talked before. This list, I have to put something right here, right? Because, I guess I could write my list there, but that would be kind of weird because it's all that stuff going on already. But I already knew that I wanted to do a base. That was already part of my plan. Let's see. I had that aside. There's one more thing I had. Where did that go? It was, where did it go? Actually, let me just really quick move some of these things out of the way. Just I'll slide them over to the side so it's not so hard to. Oh, that's the back of the stamps. We probably would like to have that later. Okay. And then, like all that bunnies and blooms, when I go to put it away, I just put it in a little pouch for bunnies and blooms. Then it's easy. I don't worry about putting them, the die cuts back in their little package and all of that. All right, so what happened to, let's get that put away. Now we've got this giant stack over here. What happened to, I don't know. All right, so 2-page list. I'm going to use pattern paper on both sides as a base because this just came in, the Garden Party pad. Like I haven't even, it's not even separated yet. I haven't even looked at it, which is when I get so excited because you open it up and you never really know what's in there. You kind of get a feel, but you never really know. So it's like opening up a Christmas present. Oh, so I have a new Traveler's Notebook kit coming. Probably in the next 2 weeks, I want to say, using Garden Party. So that will be the kit, and then we'll do the live class with it if you purchase the kit. It's not up on my website yet, but it'll be there soon. I've got everything kitted, well, kind of kitted for it. My dad likes to come over and help with some of those. Oh gosh, hang on. Oh, you know what? Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay, fixed. Guess what? I know why we keep freezing. There's nothing wrong with the cord that I was using. The little extension cord here that's on my desk, not plugged in. So that is why that kept happening to us. Right? We're better now? Yeah, I think we're back, right? We're back. Yeah, that's funny. Best laid plans, right? I'm plugged in, but not really. All right, so this is going to be a 2-page list. And I'm looking for 2 patterns that kind of will coordinate together, which shouldn't be hard because, well, from the same pad. I like yeah, I love the flowers. That's always a no-brainer. Gold foil, that's cute, but that would get lost. We wouldn't see enough of that, so I'm not going to do that. More floral. Ooh, 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 ooh. Oh, my heavens, look at, okay. Look, what if we do these 2 together? That. And, oh, like that too, though. That's pretty. That will get used for something good, but all right, so let's see. If we use these 2 together and we do this on one side, this on the other, oh yes, that will be great. So you guys, when I started writing down the things on my good habits, bad habits list, I will tell you, way easier to come up with bad habits. At least for me, it was so much, my bad habits list is really long. I had to really think for good habits, which is probably not a good thing. I need to have better habits. So I might have to keep really, really, really thinking and add to my good habits list. That's just me. I'm always way too hard on myself. So it's always hard. Like when we did the things I'm good at list, you know, it's just sometimes it's hard to come up with things. So good habits, I definitely am more bad than good. That's all right. Okay, so on here, I think we will go to 4.5 because it's kind of what we've been doing. That seems to kind of be the measurement, 4.5. So that will go right there. And then this one will also be 4.5. Oh, well, I'm gonna need that again. Okay, round the corners. We'll go there and there. This green, I love this color green. It's just bright and cheery and springy and all right, so we'll do that. I just realized I am hungry. Gotta think about what to eat for lunch. Have to think because, oh, you know, I mean, it's, you know what would be good? I'm thinking, I like soup, like zupas. Do you guys like zupas? The, like, it's kind of like fast food soup, I guess. I don't know. Yes, but I like the zupas. I love a really good tomato soup. And they have a good tomato soup. We'll have to see. Hopefully Nick hasn't eaten yet. And if he has, that's all right. I might just have to run to Zupa's. I wish Zupa's had a drive-through. But they don't. At least the ones that we have don't have a drive-through. But I could order ahead and then go pick it up. All right, there we go. And I'm saving these, right? Because I'm going to do something with these one day. I don't know. Well, that could be something fun. Oh, but that won't work there. Anyhow, actually, I'm gonna think about that for a second. I need now my white paper again, my white cardstock. And I'm not doing both lists right now, but I might as well just get, the other side ready to go. Might as well get the other side ready to go. Lorna, how sweet. Just made your tea for you. That's so nice. So nice. It's so nice to have spouses or partners or friends or kids or, whatever that are good about thinking about us, right? Okay, so those my 2 5s, and then that way, I always cut them that way so that I have, a full 5 width if I need it. But we know we don't need it in this case. And instead of measuring, we're just going to do this. And then we'll make the other one just like it. So that is end up to be about, it's about 3.5. And that is about 7 1/8. Doesn't really matter. Okay. So, actually what does matter is we'll just do this. Oh, we watched something interesting last night on Netflix. I think I talked about this last week, that we had watched, we watched Ted Lasso. That was very good. Ted Lasso, if you haven't seen that, that's not Netflix though. That is Apple Plus. But what we watched last night, a documentary on Netflix called Murder Among the Mormons, which is kind of pertinent because it takes place in Salt Lake City. And both Nick and I lived here. Well, Nick was born and raised here, not me, but it's pertinent and relative because, it takes place in Salt Lake City, but very interesting. It's like a three show series or mini series or whatever you call it, but fascinating about some things that happened here in, the 80s. No, I know. I haven't watched Zach and Mila yet. I know. And you know what? Nick was out of town all this week. And really, it would have been a good time. But I did a lot. That's what happens. Nick goes out of town. And I always think, oh, you know what? That'll be great. I'm going to watch chick flicks and relax and give myself a pedicure. And then I just work. Because I don't remember if we talked about it. I don't know if that's a show that Nick would, he's pretty good sometimes about, saying, okay, we'll watch the chick flick or whatever. I just remembered now, you guys. It made me think. So we are now officially empty nesters again. We were empty nesters for about 6 months when Sam went off to college. And then COVID happened and he moved home. And then Sam moved out in December. And then 3 days later, Jack came, our older son. And Jack was here again until just this past Wednesday. So we are now officially empty nesters again. We were empty nesters for about 6 months, and now we're empty a little bit for a while. Who knows? All right, so good habits, bad habits. We'll probably try to bring in maybe something a little bit like that, although I don't know. Actually, that would really need to go more on this side because I have a lot less on the good side than the bad side. Let's see. Grilling out. Wanda, where are you that you're grilling? Let's see. Steak, hot dogs, fried potatoes, and roasted veggies. Yum. Yum, yum, yum. Chick flicky. Yeah, so who knows? We'll see if I can get him to watch it with me. Okay. Yes, Karen will give all the advice to Terry about the printer. Walk away. Turn it off, walk away. All right, so let's see what else. We have the little puffies. And we have the die cuts, not to be confused with the bunnies die cuts. Another little flower that could go there. But it really can't go that way because then it looks upside down. So maybe it will go down here. We'll see. Let's look. The die cuts again, maybe just that one. And then we've got to figure, oh, washi. Washi, washi, washi. Yes. Okay. Let's start with that. This is the Garden Party washi. Garden Party collection that I'm using is linked in the description of the video. I think I might use this guy. Let's see. Oh, I can hear Nick. I can hear him setting boxes. He's brought the boxes upstairs. Terry Leto, it is snowing. But it's more like sleeting. It's not really snow. It's just really wet, but it does not look like somewhere I'd want to be right now. Let's see. Actually, I know I don't want to use that. It's just not the vibe I want. It's just not, yeah, not clicking. So what if, maybe this one? This was new. The little gold foil dots. This is so funny, you guys. So this one's gold foil dots. This one, rose gold hearts. And so if you're new and you don't know, Nick's my husband. And Nick has a job. He has a job, a full-time job. But with COVID, he's been helping me quite a bit with my business because it's kind of grown a ton and it's kind of crazy. And so he helps pick orders and things. And so he's had to learn to know the product, right? He needs to know what's what. So he picks it correctly and your order comes in. He's got to, do it right. Well, we both do them, but anyhow. So I played a joke on him because, for example, I have several different washies that are rainbow washi. And so it'll be like, this is the rainbow washi and this is the sweet rainbows washi, or, just had to figure out how to name them different things. So this one is a rose gold heart. There's also a black one just like this. It's called Black Hearts. So I tricked him the other day and I said, okay, honey, this is really important. This is rose gold heart, but I also have a gold heart coming and it's just like this. So you'll need to be able to tell the difference between the rose gold and the gold. And he looked at me like, are you freaking kidding me? And he probably said something like that. And then I told him I was joking. I'm like, are you crazy? And he's like, I know you. You're my wife. I know you. I know you would totally do something like that. So it was kind of funny. It's kind of like with the camera washi that that I just that was added, a new one last week, I think, right? That there were 3 different camera washis. And so he's like, really? Why do you have 3 camera washis? And I'm like, well, because why not? Yeah, he's like, whatever. He really could care less. It's just that if he has to help pack the orders, then it needs to be easy. All right, there we go. That's cute. That lovely sunshine, beautiful, sweet. I like that pink. That's kind of fun. And it goes well with the little gold dots. All right, so then does this go here? Sure, why not? Oh, I hear, what's he say? Okay. Oh, I know what he's doing. I can hear Nick in the kitchen and I can hear dishes and I'm like, oh, is he making us lunch? I think he's emptying the dishwasher. Yeah. All right. So we'll just put that right about there. Now, sometimes what I like to do, oh no, we'll lift it up there. There, that goes. So it's, no, okay. Thought it was hanging over the edge, but it's not. All right, friends. So now we have the title. So the title, here's the thing. As I was thinking about the title, one is good habits, one is bad habits, right? And I don't, I don't want to put habits because that would be weird. And I don't want to put good habits, bad habits. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to say good and bad. And then I'll have to figure out how I'm going to get the habit part in there. But good and bad. It, kind of like I always did the love-hate list that I did. Let's look. Let's see. I think this is Oh yes, right? So it'll be similar to this. It'll be similar, love, hate. It'll be good, bad. Yeah. So the stamps I had pulled out for this are where? Oh, right here. Now, I'm not sure. We're going to have to see if they will fit, if good will fit, because good might be a little bit too long. So let's double check. We need, where's the big guy? See, this is why we should always put our things away. What was I going to use this for? I don't know. Where? But it wasn't these. Oh my gosh, you guys. Heavens. Never mind. Just pretend I didn't do that. Dingy. Dingy. All right, I'm going to clean these little feet off because the feet touch the paper and I got a little bit dirty on the last list from the feet. Just kind of dry that really quick. Dry that. Hello, New Zealand. Hi, Nancy. Love the sprint list. The spring theme. Oh, there we go. Yes. Love the spring thing. Like sprint. All right. So let's see. G. Oh, I don't know. We're going to have to check it. It might work. It might not. We're just going to have to check. It's probably going to be really tight. So we'll see. G. We're going to run into the same issue again where we only have one O, and that's okay because we'll do our little trick again. Although it gets a little bit trickier, right? Because it needs to go next to it. Oh, that's a B. We need the D. So, let's see. We need to try to measure and see where. So it's about 3 centimeters. So about 3 centimeters, but it'll need a little bit more because of the edge. All right, I think we're too wide. Oh yeah, hello. I'm sure you guys could have told me that, right? Donna, page 3 for the ugly, right? The good, bad, and the ugly. Yes, I should have been able to eyeball that and know that that wouldn't fit. But now we know that doesn't fit. So we will go to, this is also why I have multiple size letters. It's right here. Where? Hey, where did it go? Hold on. Oh, there it is. It just slid down. We'll use this one. So, these are both the same font. This is Max XL and this is Max. The garden party. I know, Kelly. I do too. It just is, I don't know. Like I said, all of Maggie's stuff makes me super happy, but garden party is just, it's really fun. It's just perfect for this time of year. Actually, oh, okay. Don't do that yet. All right, we don't need the big. Let's get that out because it's a little bit more manageable to work with the small. G. Will we fit? G-O-O-D, A-B-C-D-E. Well, all right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do G-O and then I'll come back and stamp O-D because I won't, oh, duh, Lil. The O is in the wrong spot, right? The O should be right here, right? Yes. Okay, that's a little bit too low though. Dee-dee-dee. Oh, Lale. come on. That's weird because it doesn't really have like its spot. All right, there we go, but it's crooked. Struggle bus. We're on it. That is a hard one to line up. There we go. All right, so let's now get out our ink. Oh, dang it. And I need my eraser again. Where did it go? Oh, come on. Where'd it go? This is when the universe is like, okay, Lil, it's time to wrap it up. Right? When I can't find anything. Oh, there it is. Oh, good. That was just dirt. The other ink pad is what I was looking for next. See, as I've tried to clean some things up, but I don't want that one. I want the juicy. I want the pigment ink. Oh, there we go. Okay, we're almost there. We're almost there, friends. I know, it's gonna be, it's just about to, I need to do my list, but it's gonna be time to call it a day soon here. All right. G-O. The spacing still isn't quite right, but that's okay. So let's ink this guy up again. Okay. And let's do right there. That looks good. That's it. Commitment. I know, Karen. She's like, so no day-long crap today, huh? I know, it's 1:30. It's 3.5 hours. Go. Good. G-O. And then we can just, I just want to try to get the G, we get the G off, and we'll do the OD. And then will be, once we get this done, it'll be an easy one because it's going to be a run-on list. So, G-O-O-D. Ooh, what's that? I get very, like when things shake now, I'm a little bit apprehensive because just last year, this time, we had earthquake, which is unusual. Well, not so unusual that we live on a fault line. Salt Lake is on a fault line. The East Mountains, which is right where we are on the bench, fault line, literally like, I don't know, 500 feet from our house. We had an earthquake, like, I don't know, 5.7 or something, and we never have earthquakes. So that was the first week of COVID last year. And then we had lots of aftershocks. Oh, look at what's going to happen. These guys are going to end up being overlapped because I didn't space very well. Anyhow, so now anytime there's like a weird shaking or something, I'm like, oh my gosh, what is that? What is that? Is that earthquake? What's happening? All right, the bad we'll do next week. So we'll have good and bad. And like I did in the last one, I'll just end up coming in and filling in that D. All right, so the one thing I do know that I want to do is I'm going to come in and make a little line right here. But not right there. It's going to have to go right here because the G, the descender, the bottom part of the G. Where'd my pen go? Oh, on the floor. And I'm not quite sure yet where I'm going to write habits, friends. So we'll have to see about that. I need to I'll have to mull that one over and see where the habits part is going to go. Maybe what I'll do, actually probably what I'll end up doing is just right up here, I'll write habits good and then habits bad, because it will actually work well right there. And then when I do bad, there'll be the tall part of the B and then the A, and then I'll just squeeze it in there. All right, so now my good habits. And this is going to be the problem. Like I said, I know I don't have enough. I know I don't have enough good habits. I know I don't have enough good habits. So my run-on list is not going to be very long. It should probably be more habits that I'd like to be good at, or habits I'd like to have. I guess not be good at, but habits I'd like to have. Like, oh, I don't know, exercising on a regular basis, or eating a more balanced diet, or having a work-life balance, right? Maybe that should be a list for another day. Habits I need to have, habits I'd like to have, habits I'd like to work on. Oh, I don't need to, oh, well, I might as well just finish it. It's weird to do a 2-page list, but only do half of it now. Alrighty, so my good habits. This is where I may end up bringing in some of these guys, because I'm going to need some filler. I am going to need some filler. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So maybe what this needs to be, this is going to be a list on one side at least, using the bullets. So where's the dot? Oh, where's the dot marker? Where's the black dot marker? Put it away? Oh, I did. Okay. So, dot marker. Actually, it's probably easier if I show the colored ones. So, dot markers, they make dots. And bullets, right? Dots, but in my mind, they're bullets. So, I just do that. Then those are my little bullets. So, it just makes the little circles. When I've used this before, I kind of joke that it's like the bingo, the little bingo thing. All right, so now, what did I say, 11, right? Okay. 1. Guess what the first one is on my list? Bye, Wanda. Guess what the first one is on my list? Making lists. To me, that's a good habit. So making lists. Next one is waking up early. And here's the thing. These are habits that I define as good, right? Your habits may be different. Like maybe a good habit for you is sleeping in. No right or wrong, right? You do you. I do me. Okay. Another one is making the bed. I always make the bed every day. That's a habit that to me is good, and I like that one. It makes me happy to have the bed made. Oh yes, next one. Flossing my teeth. That is not a habit I have always had. Yes, Pam, I did swatch the dot bingo markers. I had to, because that was really hard for me because the color of the cap looked very different then, well, really, that's why you swatch things, right? I really need to swatch everything. But yeah, I right off the bat swatched those guys right after I got them. All right. Flossing my teeth. That's another one. Another one is keeping things picked up, with the exception of my craft room. That just doesn't happen. But the house, I always keeping things picked up. I am not a fan of clutter, so or things being out. So I keep things picked up. Nick, that's funny. Nick, of course, Nick pops in. Except for today, the bed is unmade. Yes, the bed is unmade because I woke up at 3 a.m. and then couldn't go back to sleep. So I came out on the couch and dozed and played games on my phone. And then Nick woke up and Nick had coffee, but he had coffee in bed. And then I was running around like I always am on Saturday mornings trying to get ready. So for this, did not get made right away. Asking again, oh, Marilee, a link for the plastic envelopes. I will link those as soon as we're done. Yes, because those are awesome. Those come in a couple of different sizes. And Nick, honey, what about my clean clothes? You really want to go there? That my clean clothes sometimes sit in the laundry room for a while. That you think should be on the bad habit list? Yes. Golly, Nick. Jackie, good for you. Writing in a daily journal. Good habit. Not getting mad at Nick for outing me in my listing things. Right, Nick? Oh, yes. So another one is, oh, not that. That's not a writing pen. Drinking water versus soda. Now, generally my water has something in it, like tea, iced tea, or like Crystal Light lemonade, but that's a habit that I have. I try not to drink soda very often, but you know, it's okay. Like yesterday I had some. All right, drinking soda. Oh, this is a big one. Recycling. See, like I had to go to the bottom of the barrel on some of these, you guys, like recycling. But we recycle, and I'm like the one at my house. It's like, wait a minute. Why did you throw that La Croix can in the garbage? It's not garbage. It goes in the recycle bin. Another one is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we still have room. Another one. I'm only going to go 3. So which one is not happening? Okay. Not wearing shoes in the house. And that has been since we moved. Just to try to protect carpet and things. Nick, I'm planning on taking a nap in a minute, so you didn't make the bed earlier. So are you all worn out from making all those orders, honey? We've got to the post office because I forgot to schedule a pickup. So we need to load up your car and go to the post office first. All right. Taking the stairs. That's another one. I try to take the stairs whenever possible versus the elevator. And then the last one is weekly meal planning. That is something that Nick and I have done, oh my gosh, probably literally for like the last, I want to say probably 20 years. Just we sit down on Sundays, figure out what we're going to eat for the week. Usually I find the recipes and then Nick cooks all the recipes, but yeah. All right, friends, so oh yes, yes, Nick, I know that's a lot, honey. Thank you. And I know there's more, but yeah. So thank you. All right, friends, lights are going out because we are about done for the day. So I am now going to flip the camera. Disneyland, arms and legs inside the ride at all times. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, spin. Terry, I just had a thought for you. You might need to update. Does it have a driver? You might need to update the driver, the print driver. So if it has a driver, if you are trying to like print from your computer, go try to delete the driver and update the print driver, because sometimes that may help. But then if not, that's kind of like you're getting to the very end. Okay, friends, that's fun. Almost 4 hours. I know they're getting longer instead of shorter, huh, Karen? Yes, you guys, please, if you like it, thumbs up. That's super important to the way that all the social media things work. So that is super helpful. Remember, prize giveaway for this week. Leave a comment, not in the chat, but after the fact when we're done, come back and comment on the video. Tell me one of the things on your spring cleaning list. And I will draw the prize for next week. And that is kind of the assortment of really fun products from Bunnies in Bloom. Then the other thing is, if you joined late, I am still working on trying to get all the prizes done from last week. So I will announce all the prizes next week. Hopefully next week I'll have more of my list done that I didn't get done all the way from last week, our big full day celebration. So I will share some of those as well. So you already know one of the list topics for next week. There are 3. Well, I'll tell you 2 because I already know 2. One of them obviously is part 2 of our list, the bad habits. The other one is things you're looking, it's favorite Easter memories. So that could go both ways. It could be favorite Easter memories, or it could be favorite spring memories if you didn't want to do Easter memories. So you can pick one of those, and those are 2 of our 3 lists for next week. I'll be using Bunnies and Blooms again next week, but for the Easter list, I'll be using the Bunnies side of Bunnies and Blooms instead of the Blooms side of Bunny. Blah, 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 blah. There's too many B's and L's and things in there. Too many consonants. All right, friends, that will wrap up our week. Please be safe. Please wear your mask. That's the mom and me coming out. So please wear your mask and be safe. And I will see everyone hopefully next Saturday. We're on again for next Saturday. Same bat time, same bat station. And have a great week. Thanks for joining, you guys. Bye-bye.